Welcome back. Welcome back.
Let's see if pop-ups on. There we go.
He Doug's grabbing a drink. That's a great idea. We're a step ahead of you.
All right. Yep. Try Doug's grabbing a drink. All right. We're live. All right. Happy Friday night, everybody. Welcome to Weirdos Assembled. This is not a hostile takeover. Me and Juice, in Goon's absence, are taking it over to keep the show going while he's gone. So what better way to salute our friend who's gone than a big old glass full of Rye Whiskey. Salute.
And scotch.
And scotch.
Salute.
So those of you who don't know, me, Good, and Yankee went to the Jack Daniel's Distillery two weekends ago. And Juice, sorry, I'm still thinking about Goon. I'm so sad he can't be here.
Yeah.
But, yep, Juice and Yankee, we went down to Jack Daniel's Distillery, and I got to share my love of Rye Whiskey. And both of them, I don't think either one of you liked Rye Whiskey before that.
No, I would say that I'm a changed man for many reasons, but definitely I have a liking for at least mellowed Tennessee Rye Whiskey.
It does make a big difference when they, and I know, I guess it's cheaper for them to make it, just make it, throw it in a bottle and send it out the door. But mellowing and aging takes a long time, but it does add. That's why you'll see people talk about 12-year scotches and 8-year scotches and 20-year scotches, and there's a huge difference. How long you let it sit, how long you let it mellow, how long it seeps into the cask. The lady down there was telling us sometimes you lose 20% of the liquid in the barrel when it ages like that.
Yeah, it's nuts, right?
But it's worth it. I mean, it gets better and better with age. One of the few things that gets better with age. I would think even probably better than wine. But so here we all are. So tell us, what changed your mind?
I think my experience with rye beforehand was Wild Turkey's rye, and that is a very spicy. Like, if you're not into ryes, if you're into ryes, maybe you would love it. But it's like spicy gasoline, I think, is maybe one way to describe it if you're really new to ryes or really new to bourbons, because it's a similar sort of like hot sensation like you would get off a bourbon, but then it's that peppery, spicy. Whereas the Jack Daniel's, that single barrel rye we tried was just amazing.
It's still spicy. It still has that peppery flavor to it, but the big difference would be that it is mellow. It tastes less like gasoline and more like, something you actually drink.
Yeah.
And I've had some ryes that were horrible, but I've had some ryes that were good. And Jack Daniel's, and so I went to get some tonight, and I could not get the Jack Daniel's, so what I got was Johnny Walker High Rye. So equally good, probably just as good, and the cost is the same. It's a very similar cost. So, all right. So, Dry Heat Doug, what did you decide to go with? He told us he was going to get a drink, but he didn't say anything. So, and now we'll wait for him to respond.
Mm-hmm.
Over in the comments,
he's probably drinking like a Miller Lite or something.
Yeah, in the comments,
I don't know if he's a whiskey guy.
He's a Navy guy. He should be a rum guy and a whiskey guy. Don't let me down, Doug. PBR Coors may be acceptable, but nothing else. Captain and Coke. All right.
Yep, there you go.
Good enough. Okay, you redeemed yourself. So in the comments, you guys, tell us what your drink of choice is tonight. What you're drinking. We're still waiting for a couple people to show up who are running late. Sydney's supposed to be here. Yankee's supposed to be here. Nothing at Random should be here. So we started earlier than we usually do. So I don't know if there was another. Was there going to be a drawing tonight? A motorcycle drawing? Was there? I forgot.
I don't think so.
I think they moved that to. Yes, Aaron, you did hear rum. Oh, speaking of which. But yes, we. I think they moved it to every 3 weeks now instead of 2 weeks. 1 second. Hey, bring me that tub.
So we got a Nar and a Goon in the chat, and
Hell
they're not
yes.
here.
Oh,
What
man.
the hell?
Come on.
Get in here.
Come on, Aaron.
And Goon's at least got an excuse, although I'm sure, he's resourceful. He can figure it out.
There he is. So, for Aaron, I know Aaron couldn't hang with us the other day. So, what I have done for next weekend, Aaron, speaking specifically to you.
Oh?
All right.
Crap.
Wow.
So I got some
What's
changes.
happening next weekend?
So for next weekend, guess what we're doing?
I'm camping next weekend
I'm also camping next weekend. Where are you camping?
at a secret location.
Are you...
Aaron,
motherfucker.
if you keep saying everything's secret, eventually no one will care about your secrets.
This is not my secret. This is a Throttle secret.
Oh, okay.
Super secret Throttle camp out.
You weren't like going to try and surprise Dave and I and show up to a campsite that we didn't give you details to.
Nope.
Dang it.
Would be cool.
Nope. Nicole decided earlier this year that Throttle was going to have like an end of year thank you event. Decided it was going to be a small secret camp out. Mostly to say like thank you to people who have helped out at Throttle, some of their common the like customers that pop in.
Right on. Let's see who we got in the chat tonight. So obviously me, Juice, Dry Heat Doug, Aaron, Goon's in there. Melissa Burt, I work with her. She wants to get into motorcycling, so she's already into drinking because she knows me. And then my Pillion, Dana Pillion style showed up. Steve in the chat. Welcome, Steve. Nice to see you always.
I'm in the chat.
But you're in the window.
You're in the panel. You're in the panel.
Yeah, welcome to our panel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm in the chat, but I'm not in the stream.
But you're in the stream.
You're here. You're in the stream.
It was just.
You're live.
Yeah, because I don't do side chat. Yeah.
You're the main man. We would never put baby in the corner. Never.
Yeah.
Always at the table. Always at the table.
If you want me, then I'm gonna be in the live stream.
You're in the stream, baby.
So,
I thought it was gonna be 6.
Oh no, sorry.
It's 5-year time. Yeah, we changed it up a little bit because we had Sydney too. Yeah, we had a pop up. So Juice's video was at 6.
It was an hour ago.
Yeah, it was at 6 my time, 7 his time, and so I tried to not be too far behind it to just kind of keep this team going.
So quick detour back to Doug in the chat for a minute. He just sent me a photo of what he's using, or rather, hopefully he's not mixing this. He sent me a photo of a Jack Daniel's bottle, and I'm going to try to show you all. It's probably not going to work.
No,
Maybe.
Because you're running your weird. I can see a Jack Daniel's bottle.
Yeah.
Yep, I see it.
You see the name on there? It's a Sinatra bottle.
Oh shit, so we went on this tour. Obviously, Frank Sinatra is the reason Jack Daniel's got so popular and the reason they had to sell to a bigger distributor because they couldn't keep up with demand. Once Frank Sinatra said, "This is manna from heaven and everyone should drink this," all of a sudden they couldn't keep anything on the shelf. So to stay up with, one was stay up with profits, 2 to stay up with actual demand, they started partnering with a bigger distributor to make the whiskey. So Frank Sinatra got his own brand or his own line of Jack Daniel's whiskey, and it is stupid expensive. And I won't ruin it for you. Go on the Jack Daniel's website, read the story about it, why it's so expensive, and what they do to make it different than everything else. Because it is a different process what they do to this whiskey, and it's absolutely gorgeous stuff. But I cannot afford it. It's right up there with the Johnny Walker Blue Label. It's some pretty expensive stuff.
Wait, just like your regular Jack Daniel's is too expensive?
Oh no, this is.
I'm sorry, I don't drink. Just not for any kind of like, I'm an alcoholic type of thing, but not my drug. But so forgive me if there's gonna be a lot of stupid questions flying your way about Jack Daniels and all that kind of stuff in general. So the regular stuff that you could just buy at your local supermarket.
Yeah.
What is that?
Like $25. I don't know. It depends on where you're at in the country.
25 to $30.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty decent drink.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. But I mean, if you're gonna be, it's not a sipping whiskey.
I'm gonna screw around with
some lighting effects.
See if I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get my lighting right.
I know what's different. Your camera's usually on the side. That's why.
Well, no. So I always talk like this because I'm looking at my external monitor, but my camera is right there. But I usually always just watch you guys on my external monitor, which is this side.
Yeah,
so.
I make a bad newscaster because I'm always looking at the monitor. I can never look at the camera.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Julie with the weather, and we're going live. So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I can't do that. But
just wanted to pop in and say I love you guys.
Oh, I love you too, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for coming in.
Love you
Me
too,
too,
man.
brother. Miss you.
Yeah, I miss you.
Miss y'all.
Matt just stepped in. 9 mils. He's got.
Hey, but you know, if I fuck up tomorrow, then I'll be back next weekend. So
For your sake and all, and the sake of the little goonlets, don't fuck up. Do your best. We want you back.
well, this ship has already sailed, so we'll see exactly how this turns out.
Okay.
Is that privileged information what you're doing tomorrow?
They don't let us talk about the course.
Oh,
So-
okay.
This might be off-screen stuff.
Yeah.
After show.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to post any pictures,
right.
videos, tidbits, anything.
Oh, thank you again, Goon. That was awesome. That was an awesome package to get. The long sleeve shirt. What was that from?
That was one of my instructor shirts.
Okay, nice.
So only
Yeah.
people who have been an instructor or know an instructor have one of those.
Very cool.
Now I got to get mine in the mail. Now I'm feeling bad.
And
All I
then
did
there was
give him some stickers. Some lousy stickers. That's all I said.
and then there was the other patch.
You'll have to send me a picture. I don't remember which one. I sent you 2 of them. It was also mad packing at that point.
Billy Bleakraj just stepped in. All right, where'd Sentinel go? Sentinel, you're not showing up. If you're here.
Yeah, she's got little circles on mine.
Same here.
I have about 11 hours of footage from the move, to include the Rainy and Nar sections and traveling and the trip down the back of the dragon. And I have no computer to edit it.
Julie Smith just
I'll be
stepped
back.
in. Hello, Julie. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I remember when I edited my stuff, I saw you videoing, and I'm like, oh man, where's all that going? And it never popped up. So
Well, I'm glad I got to see it. I was helping out in spirit.
yes, you were. We
This
felt
is,
your strong presence.
This was the other one. I wasn't sure what that one was from.
Ali Al-Sad.
I don't know if you can see it. I don't know, something. Afghanistan. Probably. Looks like Afghanistan, but
Goon, was that Al-Sad? He's gone.
yeah, maybe he's on mute for a reason.
Had to fart.
Yeah.
All right, Seven, come on in.
All right. I will catch you guys in a little bit.
All right, guys.
Much love. It's my time to go, I guess.
All right, man. Have a good one. We'll be thinking about you.
All right.
We already raised the toast to you.
All
We
right.
Love
miss
you,
you.
brother.
See you soon, bud. Text me
Later, guys.
later.
And I love you, Sid.
Sid, if you're there, sign out, sign
she
back
won't
in.
even. She won't even unmute to say goodbye to Goon.
I think she's having some technical difficulties.
She's having
if I had to guess.
It's New Jersey. The radiation's probably affecting her footage or something.
Good evening, Hudson Moto Visuals.
Hudson Moto Visuals just stepped in. Another one of our insiders.
Yeah.
What a party,
David. Party.
And Billy. I forgot to I welcome Billy in. Yep. You guys that don't know, Blake does a murder mystery podcast or a murder mystery video, and usually about every week. And they're if you're one of those people who like to watch murder mysteries and whodunits and like the crime and drama stuff, go to his channel, watch his stuff. It's freaking amazing. It's addictive, and he's got a voice for narrating, and it's awesome. 10 of 10, highly recommend. And everybody's gone. Here we are. All right. We've got 11 people in on the stream now watching us. So, Aaron.
Yeah, what's going on, Aaron?
So, should we push back the tasting until the week after next? I'll drink without you. I'll practice. I have no problem with that.
I mean, yeah, don't wait on me to have a good time.
No, this is
well,
for you.
It is rum.
I got the rum specifically for you.
It is rum. Rum is my go-to. Rum or mead.
Fine, I'll practice.
I remember a vague threat or a bet or whatever it was that nobody could outdrink you if you're drinking rum.
No, I didn't say no one could outdrink me. I said I have a better shot of going drink for drink with somebody when it's rum.
I don't think that's how you phrased it.
He said I can go. I can go shot for shot with anyone with rum, and we both laughed. I mean, it was a very hearty laugh. Belly. I got a cramp in one side, and I said,
Rainey and Sid both laughed when I said that.
But hey, I'm willing to try.
But I have also made the mistake of not drinking much lately. Like last night's the first time I really drank since I was at Justin's.
You said it like it's a mistake, man.
Yeah,
it's not a mistake.
That sounds like kind of a good thing.
Yeah, probably.
I
the wrong things over here.
I may or may not have drank an entire bottle of mead last night, so I expected to wake up with like a wine hangover. I fortunately did not.
Wait a
but
minute.
I also chugged like.
You get a hangover from wine?
Yeah, you
never had a wine hangover.
Hangover from wine.
You probably should not try to go drink for drink with anybody.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sugar, though. I'll give them that. Like, I've gotten wine hangovers are like distinct.
So you get a sugar high from wine.
Sure, but like a wine hangover is way different than a hangover from any other type of liquor or alcohol. I got to experience that firsthand the first time I ever actually tried wine. I drank a bunch of wine at a winery, and I bought a bottle, brought it home, and drank the whole bottle. So I drank a lot of wine that evening, and I woke up with probably the worst hangover of my life.
Yeah, it'll do that.
I drank more of other types of liquor and beer in a night, volume-wise, with higher percentage, and not been as nearly as hungover the next day.
I'm just fucking with you. Wine has live acid in it. That's what actually would give you the hangover. I'm just fucking with you.
But yeah, so I expected to wake up with a wine hangover this morning, and I was very happy that I did, because I had to go to work.
So in all my 20 years of being in the military, and drinking with some of the strangest navies in the world who can drink for drink, the person who I was surprised who could drink so much and nearly drink as much as me was 7. And it was at Erin's house, and she was pounding it, and I was like, holy shit. And then I remembered why she could do that. She's Polish. Now, if there's 3 people who can drink like fish, it's the Irish, the Welsh, and the Polish.
And us.
The Germans are good with beer. So I've got 2 of those knocked, and 7 has the other one. So, yeah, we're very good company. So,
whatever the British Isles is considered is where I fall.
The British Isles?
Everything in that area.
So what's their excuse?
I don't know. I don't have an answer.
No, they drink ale. No, you're in your pocket. There's no reason to jump out of your pocket. They drink ale. You're good there.
Ale, mead.
Mead. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Mead's actually a Roman thing, and so the British Isles goes right into it. So
Mead's actually older than Rome. They did it even back in ancient Egypt.
okay, but the Romans brought mead to Britain. So
Yes.
More of a Viking thing.
The Viking Age came after the Roman Age. Roman came after Greek. And we don't need history lessons.
B comes after C. Yeah, we get it. So yeah.
Well, I'm half Polish. I can't drink for shit.
What's the other half? Depends what the other half is.
Italian.
Italian.
So,
You should be good with wine and
yeah.
pizza.
I mean, I should be, but just
okay. It happens.
not. What?
Casey, welcome, Casey.
I don't know.
I missed you.
So do you not get hangovers in general, Randy?
I have not had a hangover in probably
Jesus Christ.
20 years. Last time I had hangover, when I get hangovers, it's because I am dousing some big whiskey. And we put away some whiskey at Aaron's house. We put a lot of whiskey away. And even Seven had a hangover the next morning. But once I noticed she was drinking out of the magic bottle, and we all know what was in that magic bottle, I started pounding on the magic bottle too. But yeah,
I was feeling a little fuzzy. I wouldn't call it a hangover.
Seven had a hangover. Well, were you drinking out of the magic bottle like we were? I think
I
we
was.
took that whole. Were you? We took that whole bottle and put it away.
I would say, I think Rainey and Seven definitely were drinking more than the rest of us were.
Yeah.
I know at one point I tapped out because I'm like, I'm done. This is whiskey.
Yeah, I remember you tapping out, but
You tapped out like the third drink.
yeah, you're like, I can't do
No,
this drink.
to
Can't
be-
do Fireball.
to be fair-
I can't do this.
Whiskey.
To be fair, yeah, it wasn't the Fireball. It was the other one that tasted like the one
Hand
big
sanitizer?
Fireball. No, it was the one. Okay,
Oh.
so we had one that tasted like cinnamon candies. One tasted like a cinnamon candle, and the other tasted like a cat who had ate a box of cinnamon and then took a shit. So it was probably the third one that just put it out for Aaron.
I think we had Jack Daniel's Fire or something like that.
That one was good. No, the Jack Daniel's Fire was good. It was the one that looked like a Christmas tree that was some kind of no-name knockoff cinnamon whiskey.
I think
That's the one that
I
was.
vaguely think it was the Jameson because me and Jameson are not friends.
Oh, one of the
There was too much of
Jamesons.
that back in the day.
One of the Jamesons was very bad. The Jameson Stout was good, and the Jameson. What was the other Jameson? There were like 5 Jamesons, but yeah, one of them was pretty stout. The double black was good. The black was good. The stout was good. But yeah, after that, I do remember one tasted like Play-Doh, and that one was not too bad.
I still don't understand how y'all know what Play-Doh tastes like. That's still mind-boggling to me.
So
The same way I know what a dog biscuit tastes like
Why the fuck do you know what a dog biscuit tastes like?
because of
You never tried one?
No!
No, there were kids. No, I heard like this was a thing in grade school where like people were like, yeah, I like them. I never understood it. I didn't have a dog growing up, but people like them. You know, yes. So it's.
I mean, I grew up in a very poor, low-income area of Ohio, and my dad told me tips and tricks that, like, people who are barely able to make ends meet, living paycheck to paycheck, you'll see them go to the grocery store with, like, a cheap 50-pound bag of dog food, because there's more nutrition in that bag of dog food for value than they could get for the same amount of weight of other groceries.
Yeah,
And it's significantly
actually, the
cheaper.
70s and 80s, that was a big thing. They were talking about old people eating dog food, but it wasn't because I mean it was cheaper and it actually. I'm not shitting when I say this. The 70s and 80s canned dog food tasted like meatloaf because they put real meat in it. It tasted like canned meat because it was canned meat. It was real canned meat. Side note: I just got invited to Rattlesnake Saloon tomorrow, and I can't go because I got to stay close enough to check on the dog.
Where's the wait, what do you call it? Rattle something saloon?
Rattlesnake Saloon. It's actually by Josh Harris. It's like 30 minutes from his house. So, funny story. somebody. So I stopped last week when I was helping one of my guys I work with his house. He had some bad electrical issues. And on the way back, there was this dude at a station, looked like he was broke down. So I stopped and I was like, "Hey man, you broke down?" He goes, "No, I'm just taking a rest." So where are you heading? He goes, "Oh, I'm going to Rattlesnake Saloon." I was like, "Oh man, I know a guy that lives close to that." He goes, "You should go with me." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm helping a guy work on his house." I said, I got to be close. And when I got home, I asked Josh Harris, JD and the Queens, asked him, "Hey, is that close to you?" He goes, "Yeah, it's like 30 minutes from me." So we kind of made plans one weekend to meet up and go. Get to work the next Monday. And another guy I worked with was like, "Yeah, I'm heading there next weekend. You should go with me." I'm like, "Fuck, this is karma," but I can't because the Pillions out of town are going to be enough to check on the dog. So, which sucks.
Anyone else notice that Sid had a helmet on?
She just pulled the motorcycle helmet off. That's a power play.
That is the most. Yeah, that was a serious power play there. Just like, oh yeah, this is why I was busy.
It's her new helmet she just got, so I'm sure she was messing around getting it set up for vlogging. It's going to be my guess.
Nope, she messaged me earlier and said she was running late because she had work issues. But look at her. She has just jumped off the bike, still has her messenger bag on, her jacket. That's
Superman
a power play.
shirt.
I feel inadequate. I feel very inadequate.
Yeah, I feel pretty small right now.
She's super chick.
That's what he said.
Oh,
I don't know that we can hear her, though, can we?
Sprickenskay, Wuddy. We can't hear her yet.
I hear her and I see her now.
Got to get set up. Okay.
Yeah, we got nothing soon.
Mm-hmm.
I can
I
hear
can
her.
hear her.
Can you?
Can you hear us?
She's still
Oh,
muted.
then I'll back out and try
Can
back
you hear
in.
everyone else?
Who can hear her?
Can you guys hear me yet?
I can.
I can hear you.
I can hear Yankee. Now he's gone.
I can hear everybody.
Good.
I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Can I
It was
get
probably
a...
me.
I can hear everybody but Seven.
I think it might just be you, Rainey.
I didn't get Seven. Let's
She
go, Mike.
just said hello.
Hop back in it. Now I can hear her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. she-
Okay, well, let me duck out, and I'll duck back in.
Oh, wait.
Why did you
Is that going to mess up the stream if you do that?
No, because it'll broadcast.
Nah,
so
it's OBS.
the screen might be weird for a while, but I'm still broadcast. Yeah, I will fuck everyone up if I duck out because it'll fuck their screen up. It'll still be broadcasting. It'll just broadcast whatever's on my screen. Everybody will see me logging out, logging back in. So just keep going.
You can just...
I'll just
So you can just disconnect from the call and jump back in.
if I do that, that's what we'll broadcast to YouTube.
Yeah.
It'll just show the Goon Discord.
No, it won't.
I don't think you can.
That won't happen.
We're going to have to just Chinese telephone this. I love it. It's
Okay,
great.
so next time I do this, I'm doing it from Riverside because I have no problems with Riverside. Discord is great until it sucks.
All right, so who's going to be the middleman to say everything that Sid says to Rainey? Who's volunteering for that task?
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do
Oh,
it.
fine. Let me sign out. I'll sign right back in. Jesus Christ. Killing me.
Rainey,
Stand by.
Rainey, she's
for
not
technical
saying anything.
difficulties.
and my guess is it's not going to be. Okay, there's not going to be a lot of.
Except, Steve, I
telephone.
want you to reword everything the way you would phrase it instead.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Definitely.
Your
Yeah.
interpretation.
Fucking bullshit. Fucking.
I
Banned for life.
don't cuss like I don't cuss that much.
I know, but it would be
Some
cool
other
if you did.
shit.
Would it be cool if you did, though?
Yeah. I gotta maintain some kind of level of professionalism.
All right, I'm gonna kill. I think it'll still broadcast my page if I kill the camera, but I'm gonna turn off the camera and come back in and see what it does. It'll still broadcast you guys, so let's see.
Okay.
Got your stickers, Juice. They're cool.
Yeah.
I like them. Yeah.
Hologram. Or holographic. What do you...
Yeah, the holographic. Even though you used a combination of vector art and bitmap art, I won't
didn't
hold it
e-
against you.
I used a website. I've talked about this. I didn't create that shit. It was a AI generator. And they just tactically acquired it.
Well, it's good. It's just you need the artwork to be vector. That's all, because then you get these blurry lines when you go to print, because at print, anything that you print's got to be at least 300 dpi. That's dots per inch. So this is what you learn. You know, just see something on a screen versus having something in your hand. It needs to have a lot more dots per inch. Vector is a totally different thing. It's an infinite amount of dots per inch. That's why.
I think maybe next year we'll rework my logo. I'm open to it.
Well, I've already vectorized your logo.
I know you did it for the what's on the shirt. I'm just talking like kind of like what, like all the stickers and the branding and all that stuff. Like on Sid's hat.
Okay, audience is saying they're having problems hearing different people.
Yeah.
So I can keep this live. You guys want to take this to Riverside?
I kind of like that for the shirt. Sid's hat.
It's a leather patch.
I know, but I like the badge.
See, Melissa.
So I had somebody, the guy who did my hat, redid my logo, probably to fix some of the stuff you're talking about.
Maybe, but like the guy who did it in leather, just the rectangular one. That's what we. Same
guy, actually. That was the hang tag on the back. I'm not wearing that hat, but on the back of that hat that Sid's wearing that's where that logo came from that you're using on my shirts.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not a bad option either. I mean, I haven't made this, like, I've made a few of the screens yet for a few of you guys. But the yeah, I hate that hat. Nar.
You mean this hat?
So, because I never sold it. Actually, I think I'm gonna put it on, and there's like 50 left, and I just gave them to friends. But it's got a typo. It says Los Angeles, Georgia.
I think it makes it more valuable.
Yep.
And that's what, and so I'm gonna call it the Los Angeles, Georgia hat, and it'll be the last time it's ever run. And there's like 56 of them left, and so I'm gonna put them on the site. So it's not a bug; it's a feature. Actually,
so, speaking of hats, Steve knows about this. So during the Ohio meetup, I had all the hats for giveaways for the trivia. And
I fucked this up.
One of the hats I gave away did not have a sticker on it from Indy Ridge because it was my hat. So anybody that got a hat for the Ohio giveaway, if it is covered in cat hair and didn't have a sticker, it's my hat. Keep it. Now you have a memento. You can say you have my hat.
Oh, yeah, Aaron's got it.
But Aaron has it?
Yeah, I remember after you guys left, we found
away. You left it on my coffee table.
Did I? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay, cool.
Because I was looking at this and I'm like, why is there so much hair on this? And I'm like, this has been worn already.
Yes.
There's no sticker on it. Like, I know this isn't mine. I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah, it's cat hair.
So, yeah, I'll keep that. I'll bring it to you next time I know I'm seeing you.
Well, I'm getting the staff to send me another one because I was sure after going through everything in my entire house and the saddlebags and the side bags, I had given it away during the meetup. I'm like, well, that's it. That's where I had to give it. I know I took it to Ohio.
You never thought to ask if you left it here.
Because why would I leave it there, right? It was supposed to be, yeah. I knew I took it to Ohio. I know it didn't come back from Ohio with me. I'm like, well, it's still in Ohio. And I was right. It is still in Ohio. So,
good thing I have about 100 more of those left. I might put those up for sale as well, just to support the IRI Research and Development Division. Try to support the people who test out the products. So it's like you're a proxy. It's like you're a prospect. You wear the gear, you're a supporter.
Feels like it, yeah.
Do you have the most grass in the clubhouse?
All right.
Speaking of product, I finally have a pair of crows on the way. So
yeah?
I'm going to get to learn about how awesome those are since that's the pair everyone has except me.
Crows? I'm actually trying to break a pair of crows right now. So my oldest pair, I have finally decided to start going to work in them because why not? They're fantastic safety shoes. Oh, look at that.
It's a crossfield. How do you like him, Sid?
Just
I cannot hear
Uh,
a fucking thing.
Crossfields?
She's saying that she broke in her crossfields in 3 days because of
Rain.
Patreon exclusive foot sweat content and humidity on the East Coast.
No. I have an exclusive foot shot. I'm going to put it up as the thumbnail for my next video.
Oh, from Ohio?
Yep.
She said she's leaving now.
She was running up
Yeah, no.
barefooted. That was my chance. I took my shot.
No, that's accurate. I will also say the
Premium con.
crossfields, since I've gotten them, I haven't worn sneakers or anything else. Just been my
I
crossfields.
hate the current version of the Crossfield.
Really?
Like, yeah, the ones that are coming are better, and then the ones that are, and then there's 3 other models of the Wingman collection that are being released, and then the first batch of 50 of these are the Kevlar hoodies. Those are going to go to you guys. They're not branded, but I just want you guys to wear them and see how you like them, how they break in, and then I'll do the brand thing.
Definitely
And
excited
then,
for that, 'cause I've been looking for a good hoodie to start riding in.
Yeah. But the t-shirts are fucking trucks backing up on Monday. It's like 6,000 shirts that I got to take over to my screen printer and be like, hey, I need
What are you doing?
I need a bunch of people's logos on these shirts, please. And that's actually, yeah. Well, and that's actually, and I don't want to get off the whiskey topic.
You're fine.
This is the longest we've stayed on a topic so far on any show.
You know, and I don't want to hijack anything,
Nope.
but it is a conversation that we had in mod and stuff like that. Is that okay? Well, how are you guys going to do fulfillment and returns and that kind of stuff? And so my thought was, well, I'm just going to put them all. So I'm going to redesign the shopping experience of the site essentially. And there's going to be, I'm going to add a bunch of stuff like hats. We have like waxed hockey laces that I never actually sold. We would just include them. But they're really cool. And they're like 62 inches or 70, or like 60 inches and 72, black and brown.
Nice.
And so I just never got around to selling them, or, just didn't do it. But the t-shirt section is, there's going to be stuff from our brand, but a lot of it is going to be other people's brands. And I think people, and, who have small channels, medium size, kind of larger, and I'm doing John's. So like, it's going to be a place if you guys want it there. If you say no, like just send me the shirts and you'll take care of fulfillment, knock yourself out.
I think that could be a good payback for what you do for us. Just keep them. And that's free advertising for us for our channels. So free reign.
Well, no. Like, so
sell
like
them.
at the end, no. So what would happen is they're yours. And then I just send you, as the sales come through, you just get the cash for it.
Send mine for Forgotten Angels. Save it up twice a year. We'll take it to Forgotten Angels and present it.
Well, I mean, the plan was to give to you guys for free.
That is a gift.
So like,
That is I mean, I'm going to get some shirts and I'm going to give them away to my subscribers. But I mean, honestly, the most I want to do is I want to do good. I want to do good. I want to do good by you, but I also want to do good by all the people that got me here. And a big part of that is, my followers, my subscribers, and Forgotten Angels. So I think the best thing to do, you guys can do whatever you want to. I do not feel pressured at all, but I think the best thing I can do with anything I get from this is to give it back to Forgotten Angels.
yeah. I mean, if anybody can use the extra scratch, you're not required to donate. The goal was to give back to the community that's given me a lot and supported the brand a lot when they didn't have to. So, and because I'm in a position to buy such large quantities of really good quality t-shirts, and everybody uses Teespring, and it's like my shirts blow theirs out of the water. Like I found the best mill in Guatemala. Like I did a lot, and I'm screen printing them locally so I can do color proofing and stuff like that. And this is just the first order. So instead of trying to come up with concepts of like what my art should be, and I kind of had this conversation in the chat. It was like, I don't want it to look like everybody else's art because it all looks the same. It's all got that, old school, like Americana bullshit. And I'd rather have just a bunch of other creators' art and then in one place. And then so eventually, like the first batch, you guys will get a good chunk of them, and then, just for free. On the net, and then if they start to sell through, I'll recoup my costs. But other than that, like instead of giving, like I think I saw like Bry, I was talking to Bry last night, and he's like, if I send out a t-shirt from Teespring, I make like $4.75 off of like a $30 shirt or a $25 shirt. And it's like, all right, all in, this will cost me about $10 to $12. And you can sell these literally, I guarantee, for probably 30. So that's $18 right there per shirt. And all I want to do is just recoup the costs because that's all I need. And then, the trade-off is like, if you want to buy my shirt, you've got to go to this place, which happens to be my site. So for me, it's a win-win-win for everyone. But the first batch for you guys is obviously free. You guys can get, I can send them to you. I can put them on the site and send you however you want to do it. But yeah, that was kind of the plan, and I'm doing it for a bunch of people. So
like me,
like you, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so I think that's the first time it's been announced to the general public. Yeah, coming soon.
Oh, yeah, coming very soon. Goon has his, Juice has his, Rainey has his. I'm sorry, Nar, you've got 8,000 colors, and it would cost about $3,800 per shirt to make that many screens.
Hey, Steve, somebody promised me they would send me a mock-up of my shirt if I let them run rampant on my YouTube channel during an interview, and I haven't seen that mock-up yet.
What do you mean?
Like what you put on the Discord yesterday for Juice, the picture of the actual shirt with the placement of it on the shirt, where it would be on the shirt and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So you want a mock-up of it?
That's just where it's going to be on there, because I still. I
like
a big center one just like this. This is the kind of shirt I like.
Yeah.
You look at the shirts everybody's wearing.
Middle.
That's what kind of shirts they like. I think so.
Well, it depends. It's like you got to think about what kind of shirts you pull from your drawer. And that's what I've been spending a lot of time thinking about. Like, what kind of shirts do I pull from my drawer every day? And why do I like them? Why do I pull them?
I was thinking about the other day when you were talking about it. Yeah, and it's definitely. So everybody, me and Nar talked about this when we were talking about what was it what was the thing you posted the other day of it was like real badass stickers or whatever you were posting, and I was like, that's something that looks cool, but you'd never wear it.
Exactly. Yeah, and I have it like I have a ton of art like that, but it's like, it's like for the most part I just wear pretty simple shirts, except for like Red Rum, where they've got the supporters, and then it's like they've got the patch. I like when Cliff sent me the logo, I'm like, I'm sorry, I need to clean this up. This is the worst fucking JPEG I've ever seen. It's very high resolution, so I can do it, but I'm gonna change things, and you need to know that it's it's because it needs to be changed, because that's not how it should be for a screen print. So he's gonna get a bunch, but it's I had to fix up his logo because it was like it's a mess. But so that's kind of the plan, is that you guys, I'll have my kind of stuff. It'll be relatively simple, and then there's going to be there's going to be like the creators section, right up below it, above it. It's all in the same place. It's like our shirts and then everybody else's, and people who are just dumping money into YouTube, for certain products. This is a way to recoup a lot of that. Hopefully. This is experimental. It's like I'm basically a blanks company. I'm basically going to be Teesprings. It's just going to be like much better, and you'll just get paid out at the end of the month and automatically, but based on how many shirts you sell. And as long as I can recoup my website, it's worth the traffic. So I think it's good for everybody.
Heck yeah. And I think it'll sell a lot because, you look at a brand like Harley Davidson, who sells as much money in merchandise as they do in actual motorcycles.
I think it's more.
You can only buy so many motorcycles, but you can go in and buy as many T-shirts and gloves and hats and shit as you want. So you'll do a lot more traffic in things. You're gonna fill your closet with, unless you're one of us insiders, with like 15 pairs of shoes, giant boots.
Of Harley,
but
for anyone who doesn't know, they just had a huge recall on, I think, 2018 and newer Softails.
Softail is the new Dynabro bike. Just gonna say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, Aaron, it was the license plate frame. That's what it was. There was some really badass license plate frames.
Sid's talking for a second. Let her talk.
I can't hear her. I'm sorry, Sid.
So, Sid, I think. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I already have an appointment set up to get my 5K and everything done. I need to put almost 2,000 miles on my bike by the end of the month. But I also need to reach out to them because I got a letter saying, hey, your VIN number is flagged for having an issue with that. So I need to call them and also make sure they have that to do at the same time. Because there's still a leak in my primary I have to fix. So at some point, I'm going to drop my bike off and see it. Who knows when.
Yeah. Are they going to pay for it and actually fix it?
The 5K maintenance I'll be paying for. The issue with the primary is warranty. And the recalls, obviously, covered by the manufacturer. But when I set that up, they said no matter what, I was going to have to drop it off because they said it could be anywhere from a day to 3-day process just to figure out what's wrong with the primary. Like, cool.
It should take like 20 minutes.
Well, it's a 10 a.m. appointment. When I said, cool, I don't have a way to drop it off and leave. I'll need to wait on it. And they're like, we'll have it all day at minimum. Like, fine.
For what was supposedly the first Harley dealer in America, that dealer sucks. You would think the first Harley dealership in America would do a much better job at customer service. Because they're touting this whole thing that they're the first. I can drop mine off. I can tour. I can go next door, eat lunch at the Sidecar Cafe, come back, and my bike's done.
I think it's more because they're not sure what the issue is. They don't know for sure that it's an issue with the gasket or something else. They're going to have to take time to investigate it, diagnose it, on top of the 5K maintenance. And now, when I reach out, probably stop in Tuesday or something after work and have them update the schedule to include the recall as well. Work. So with the three things at once, I'm like, they're going to have it all day.
And this is specific to which models?
2018 to 2023 Softail motorcycles. So 2018 FLDE, FLHC, FLHCS. It's a list.
All right.
My computer won't because I have the blur on. But they have articles and stuff out about it with the list. You just have to look up the soft-tail recall. So it's inconvenient. Hopefully it doesn't make me miss any events. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's coming up. What is that, like 16th? Something like that?
Tomorrow?
No. October.
FA is at the end of October.
It's usually
and
the
because
last
of work,
weekend,
yeah, and because of
Last
work, I
weekend,
might miss
October.
that, not because of the maintenance.
Okay.
Funny,
Much to my eternal pain.
so funny story. Sid was supposed to be my Robin to my Howard Stern. She was supposed to field all the comments, and we had talked earlier about. So Sydney's going to be watching the sidebar, and anytime Sydney starts talking, everybody has to be quiet because she's reading something from the sidebar. It's funny that I'm moderating and I can't hear her.
You are the only one.
Yeah.
It's just
there's
you
a
at this
lot.
point.
There's a lot of
And
people on
actually,
the side.
People in chat can't hear her either. Yeah.
People on the side and
Well,
chat. Okay.
Chat can't hear because it's streamed from Rainy's side of all of this.
I am going to try to duck. Okay, everybody, hang on. It's just going to keep transmitting what's on my screen, but I'm gonna close out, come back, and
Throw some salt over your shoulder. Say a prayer.
yeah, I do miss hearing Seven's sultry voice. So let me duck out, and I'll be right
Yeah,
back.
like you get to hear it like 3 times a month. It's like you got to savor every word.
I know. Sorry, everybody. Hang on. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. No breaks.
Are there some interest? Is there some interest in it?
I got 2 people who were interested in it,
I
but
can hear her.
still waiting to hear back from those guys.
Okay.
Right here, baby.
All right.
I can hear you.
Hi,
All
Rainy.
you had to do was leave and join again.
Now I can't hear her.
I might have to fly out. And would you include like a private lesson on how to ride, like just like a 10% as well as you do? On
You're
that
going to be
bike?
riding those curvy roads in Jersey. You're going to have to learn pretty quick.
Yeah, well, it just,
That was fun.
yeah.
Didn't
so-
even take you on super curvy
Oh.
roads, Aaron. Like,
But I was in a car.
dude, a few days after, I went on my usual route, and I was like, God damn it, I should have taken them on these roads. I was like, oh, I should have thought of that before. But yeah.
I missed you guys so much on the ride back from Tennessee because I did the last day going back to New England. I started off in Virginia and I did Skyline Drive all the way back to Front Royal. And I mean, I loved every second of it, but that was the thought I kept having. I was like, I wish they were here with me. It felt like a crime being there alone.
I wish we were with you there too. That would have been fun. That would have been a really good group ride.
We need to do a very long group ride before Alaska. Before Alaska, we need to do a very long group ride together. But shit, we're all like, what, Seven's probably 12 hours from me. Aaron's 9 hours from me. Steve is a good 30 hours from any of us, no matter where we're starting. So here's what we do. We all fly somewhere and do one of these rental Alpine tour type things, where you fly somewhere, rent bikes, and you're riding for the weekend. That way none of us has to ride in from anywhere.
That's a good idea.
And that's actually my thought with the Alaska trip that we're talking about. It's like, not only would I have to somehow arrange a bike down in the Keys, then it's like, what do you do with the bike once you're in Homer, Alaska? You ride it back after just doing that whole trip, or like you look into shipping? I mean, those are the sort of things that are going through my head.
I have an idea. I am going to buy a bike off of Craigslist, eBay, Facebook, for about $2,000. Ride it all the way there, and when we get it there, I'm going to sell it.
Sell it. I had this thought, but it's a gamble though, right? Because what if you can't sell it?
You just $2,000, fucking push it off a ditch and leave it. I mean,
for the views.
Yeah. By then, we will all have very big channels, and so I'm sure we should be able to do anything with our bikes we want to.
Oh my god.
I love this idea though. I mean, like, now that Shay's got that that Goldwing, what the hell is it? That F6B?
F6B, yeah.
With that exhaust, I'm like, yeah, I could see myself doing a trip on that kind of bike.
Dude, you could do that trip on an 80s Goldwing. I mean, don't take Josh's Goldwing. Any Goldwing I've ever been on, all the way back to 88, has been pristine. Josh just bought the $1,000 Goldwings that were as shitty as you could possibly imagine. But even then, you throw a pair of shocks on them, throw some struts on them, do a freaking carb clean on them, and they're like brand new bikes. They don't freaking break.
Yeah.
Guys, Jima's inviting us all to her house if we're going to Alaska.
I'm going to Gma's anyway. That is on our... Oh. Anybody that I've ever talked to in any of the interviews said Pacific Northwest is a destination from anywhere. No matter if they're starting in Montana, Ohio, Oakland, wherever they're starting from, they all want to go to the PNW. So any of us, anywhere you go, somebody's going to go by Gma's because pie. She's offered to cook for all of us. So done.
I want to learn some of Gma's cooking. I feel like she is just like a wealth of knowledge, and I just want to absorb all of the knowledge that she has.
Next time we get together, I'm making hash brown casserole.
Yes. Oh, bet.
Yeah. Wait, so the Alaska trip, this is new to me, or this is news to me that you guys are planning on an Alaska trip?
2027.
It's going to be after Goon gets out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Goon and Rainey took point on this one night after we ended a stream and continued to drink a little more. They both started saying, what we're going to do is we're going to all go down to Florida. We're all going to meet up. We're going to get as many people as we can. Go all the way across the south of the U.S., go up West Coast, up all the way up to Anchorage. And then from there, figure out our way home.
No, we're going to go to Dead Horse.
I don't care.
Are you kidding me?
There's a few different ways to slice them.
Let's not go to Dead Horse.
Guys, Goon says hi, and he wants some. He wants some of the food the Gma cooking and Rainey's cooking.
Hi, Goon.
I'd offer my cooking to people, but I think they might die.
So, Aaron, funny story.
Yeah.
Aaron,
I have sleep for dinner, so you know.
Isn't it pizza time? It's about pizza time for you.
It will be, yeah. But I just have to place an order, but by about 8:30, so I got time.
So, Aaron, you like to read. Look up a book called One Man Caravan. Speaking of staying up late, getting drunk, and making plans that bite you in the ass later.
One Man Caravan is in my wish list on books right now to pick up to read.
So I have it in paperback. So that book, anybody that doesn't know, the son of the owner of Mack Trucks, back in like 1920, went to a party. He was considered a social elite, and he would go out and go to these parties and get drunk, and boast, make claims that he couldn't back up. And he went out, got drunk, and was like, "Yeah, I could ride a motorcycle around the world." Just so happens there was a guy there from either Indian or Thruxton or one of the old companies that said, "Cool, I'll deliver a bike to your house in the morning." The dude woke up the next morning with a hangover, and there was a bike in a crate sitting outside his house. And the guy said, "I just delivered the bike, deliver on your bet. You told me if I brought you a bike, you'd ride it around the world." And that's what the book is about, him riding his bike around the world.
I love that.
And this was back when Iran and Iraq were still diplomatic countries. So it's a very weird read comparing it to what you know now. So 10 of 10, highly recommend read the book because it's awesome. But yeah, basically he went out with no skills. Somebody taught him how to ride a bike the next day. And like a week later, he took off on his trip. With barely any planning. It wasn't like these, okay, I'm going to wait until spring because that's the best time because I'm going to be crossing this part of the world and it won't be icy, whatever. He was like, okay, I'm leaving in a week. No plans whatsoever. And he came back a completely different person. So yes, highly recommend. Speaking of getting drunk and making boasts about riding motorcycles, Yes, very good book. Do it. Read it.
It's interesting. What was it called again?
One Man Caravan.
One Man Caravan. And did he know how to pack for like that type of a trip?
He learned on the way. He had no clue what to do. He talked to some explorer, I think, that told him, I'm not sure how to tell you about how to do it on a motorcycle, but you should probably break this. And luckily, the guy kind of referred him on the trip and said, stop here, get this, stop here, get this, stop here, get this. Still had no clue what he was doing. But as he went, he kind of started becoming self-taught, and he got better as he went around the world. There was one part where he was in Iraq, and there was no gas stations, so he literally had to get like 21-gallon kerosene cans, fill them with gas, and strap them to the bike. And as he went, he would empty them out and give them to the locals. Then they would steal his cans, well, take his cans, beat them flat, and use them to put up his shingling on the side of their houses to keep the rain out. It was very, very crazy stories. But yes, read the book. Before I give it all away, because I probably will.
Now, did he write this book himself? Like
he wrote the book himself. Yeah, he wrote. Okay. It was like a ghostwrite. Someone helped him write it, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like the son or the grandson of the Mack truck founder.
And he didn't know how to ride a bike.
Before that, he did not know how to ride a motorcycle. Yeah.
That's an interesting cat.
It's worth the read. It's very worth the read.
Back then, it was a more complicated endeavor. You had not only jockey shift, but you had the what they call like the advance and the retard on the throttle. So you had to like set the timing yourself, and like the clutches were all a fucking mess.
Yeah, I don't know that I got a fancy M8, so like that all just went over my head.
So yeah, anytime he got in the mountains, he had to change the jets on his carburetor because it would start running lean, and so then he had to change jets out to actually be able to get less or more fuel to the bike as he went through high points and low points, and much different game back then. And the crazy thing is, just like Harley, when Harley started making motorcycles, he was trying to find someone to make carburetors. Does anybody know who made the first carburetor for Harley?
Oh.
It was the founder of Evinrude.
Really?
That's pretty cool.
So they know it. They definitely know their carbs.
The first carburetors were boat carburetors for boat engines, for boat motors.
I got a question for you all, since we're talking about carburetors, and maybe this is boring. How many of you have actually ridden a motorcycle or a dirt bike that was carbureted perfectly? Like, on point?
Yeah, you didn't have a choice. Back in the 70s, 80s, you didn't have a choice of...
Right.
Yeah, you had to learn that bike to drive it.
So much better than even modern day EFI. Like, when a bike is dialed in with a carburetor, the throttle response is, it's not even comparable.
Here's where, and even when speaking of which, the first fuel injected bikes, if you ran them dry, in cars too, you were fucked because you had to reprime that fuel system.
Yeah.
But the EFI was quicker off the line, but the carbureted bike would run faster in the top end because you could still get more fuel to it. There was probably a 10-15 year learning curve on fuel injection on motorcycles.
I think it's still happening.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, carbureted bikes were fast as fuck.
They're good.
Anybody that was trying to set speed records still run carbureted bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting that he taught himself to do that kind of stuff along the way.
Yeah, I think the trip took like 3 years. It might have taken more. Yeah, he had some time to learn, but it was like learn or you're just kind of screwed.
Yeah, but this is like prior internet.
Yeah.
Prior everything.
Yeah, but this was back when everybody. So in my work now, I have a machine that was made in the 80s for stuffing pouches. It's entirely cam driven. The only electronic things on it are a lot of electronic eyes that were added for like parts placement. It's got 27 cams on it that drive different functions as it spins. So much like a camera-operated engine, at each different point on the cam, another cam is coming up to do a different job. So think of it like a 4-stroke, except that instead of being 4 strokes, you've got 27 strokes. You have to
That's a lot of strokes.
You have to time it perfectly. It has to be perfectly timed, or everything crashes into every other thing. And that's how everything was back then. So you learned it, or that wasn't your expertise. That wasn't your job. That wasn't your employment. You learned it, or you didn't. Driving a bike back then, you had to learn it, or you didn't drive a motorcycle. You had to learn cars, or you didn't drive cars. So, totally different mindset back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's it sucks that a lot of people have lost it. I mean, like I don't know. I guess I include myself in that because, it's like I focus all my thing on the business, and I don't, I go home and it's 11 o'clock and on the weekends and I work. And so and I don't have a wife, kids, and, distractions. And so in theory, you would think, well, okay, I don't have enough time to teach myself other skills, but I don't. And I still take my Ford fucking Ranger down 2 doors down to get my oil changed. It's like I just do.
But you have a different skill set. You've applied yourself. Nobody can call Steve a lazy man. Steve has put his skills to other things and learned them well because you have a very prosperous business.
Well, yeah, there were things that I was forced to learn very, very quickly. And
just like that guy.
Make a bunch of mistakes over 5 years, and that's basically how you know if your business is going to be successful, is if you can, like when I pulled all my products off of Amazon, because Amazon can go fuck itself with all their fees and their return fees, and they basically train their customers to return. And the problem with that is people forget that there's another person on the other side of that transaction. And I wanted to bring that back to commerce. Commerce is going to be e-commerce. There's just no way around it. And so that's why I have ridiculous things on my site, because I can write it. It's very much a person writing it. I had a guy send me back, fucking asshole. He had a pair of crows that he bought back in November 22nd, 2022. He decided to do an exchange, a like-for-like exchange, crow 11.5 for a new crow 11.5. Now, this is 10 months. I've probably pumped out 2 versions, upgrades since then. He wrote the shoes were disgusting. I obviously caught it, and I just canceled his exchange. So he just sent me back his boots. But in his note to me, it was basically everything he hates about the boot. And then he said at the bottom, like, I'll give you guys another chance. And I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. Like, I don't need another chance from you.
Roadhouse rules.
Like, thanks for your boots back. That was stupid of you. I don't have the ability to refund you your money because you purchased on Amazon, and I don't sell on Amazon anymore. So
those boots were fucked though. The heel was ripped out of them. All the thread was ripped out. So he probably wouldn't be wearing them anymore.
I don't even know what happened because that's like I know what manufacturing defects look like because I've seen them a few times. So for those who don't know, Rainey's on our Slack, so he saw the boots too, and his note, our internal company Slack, and that's not a manufacturing defect. The waterproofing, it's like I don't know what you've been doing with the boots for a fucking 11 months. Like I just don't know.
Been going
it's
scuba
like,
diving.
Walking in fire or acid.
Yeah. Everybody says like, oh, I was wearing full rain gear and every part of my rain gear worked except for this. And it's like, well, Was it though? And so it's like at a certain point, and I'll always replace something if you reach out to us. If you actually like, the second you feel like there's kind of a manufacturing defect, you start some kind of communication with the company. Don't just try to do a like for like exchange because I offer it, and as a result of that guy, you can't do it anymore. It's got to be manually approved. So he just blew it for everybody. But and then he got pissy when I canceled his order because it was like, man, you ordered these like 10 months ago. If you had contacted me, this would be a much different conversation. I want happy customers. I want you to come back. But you were a dick and you wrote me a dick note telling me that I'm going to give you another chance. It's like, I'll give you a link to a million other sites you can buy boots from. Knock yourself out.
Go to Walmart. Go to Walmart. Their boots feel great right out of the box for the first month.
And then they break apart.
And then they fall apart.
and then they fall apart. Yeah.
So that's a direct quote from someone who we all know, but basically the same thing. Yeah, I'll give you another chance. No, I don't care.
No.
I'm
Also,
trying to impress you.
Just as a note about I have the Mohawks. The only time I ever got water in those shoes was when my pant rode up, and then I was driving in torrential rain. And it was getting under my pants, and my socks were absorbing all the water and bringing it down into the shoe. That's the only time I've ever had water get into that shoe.
And so
that was my stupidity.
Yeah, but it's also like if you're in a torrential downpour for 3 hours, like water's going to find a way. Like unless you're riding with marine grade vinyl
and you just ride in a dry suit.
Like it's going to find some kind of way in. It just does. That's the nature of water. Now at production capacity, when you're making 10,000 boots at a time, there are going to be defects during the lasting process when they put the membrane on the upper, essentially, and that's what keeps the water out. And if that breaks or it tears a little bit, it has the potential to let water into the inside. And it's also only stitched up to the patch, but that's ankle high. But it's like everybody's like, oh well, no, I was wearing full rain gear and this and that, and it's like, well, okay, it's possible that there was a manufacturing defect, and if you're nice about it, I'll send you a replacement pair. I absolutely will. But he didn't read the return policy. He just submitted an exchange after 11 months and then was confused when I canceled it. And now he's emailing me and his tone has changed quite a bit, which is interesting. But it's really odd how, and this kind of goes back to the idea of not knowing a whole lot about your own bike or your own car. How to kind of interact with the world around you in a proper way, and other people in a proper way. And if you're not kind of prepared to do that, it can be an unpleasant experience in a lot of different areas, including if you buy boots from me and you tell me that you'll give me another chance.
He is what we call a Carl, the male version of a Karen. He's used to, if I complain enough, people do whatever I want them to. And when they get shot down, then they're confused. Well, I've always bitched like a little whore before, and I've always got my way. Why doesn't it work now? Well, you wake up to a different world. You're not in Walmart anymore. We don't take customer exchanges. Sorry.
Yeah, like this isn't Amazon. I'm not kowtowing to your business. I make a product, and I improve that product continuously, and every year, I try to make it better and better and better. and I keep the price the same because I've been able to. Even with C2 certification, I've been able to keep the price the same because because I can do it. But you're talking to another person who doesn't want to be spoken to like that. And if you talk to any of my staff like that, I'll snatch the phone out of their hands because they'll have it on speaker or something. I'll grab the phone and now they're talking to me and I'm already at like, I usually walk around at like a 7. So I'm just instantly at a 9 or a 10. And it's like, okay, now you have to reason with this guy.
Can I speak with your manager? I am the manager. Also, fuck you.
Bryce said that there's a grinding sound. He said, are you hearing that grinding sound? I'm not sure.
I think it's Rainey's. I think it's a fan of his computer or something. I noticed it too, but it's so minor.
I actually have my fan turned off. I think it's
it's in your computer fan.
I think it's Steve's gears grinding.
Your PC.
No, this grinds Steve's gears. That's what it is. No, actually, man. I don't have a stack. I have a flat panel monitor. I don't have a stack on my computer.
I don't know what it is. That's what it sounds like, though.
It's Steve grinding his teeth. I don't hear it.
No. I'm usually chill around 6 p.m. at night. So if you call me at 6 p.m., I'm much more amenable to an exchange or a return. If you call me at 10 a.m. and you toss a little bit of that sass my way or you do something that you're much less likely, you better pray you get Stephanie on the phone.
What people don't understand.
I'm just going to yell at you.
Yeah, people don't understand when you go into a place and you want service, the best service you're going to get is the person who has the least to lose. So you want to deal with the lowest person on the pole because that's usually the person that'll say, well, I'm not supposed to do this, but. So you want to be nice. You want to say, hey, so I got these. Is there anything you can do about this? Oh, sure. If you come in screaming, I want to talk to your manager, well, you're probably the 20th person that manager's had to talk to that day. They're not going to put up with your bullshit.
Yeah, and not like if he likes their employees and he wants their employees treated well, he's going to say, yeah, no, what she said is correct. Do you have any other questions? So it's never a good strategy to bully people. And the vast majority of everybody is very, very nice. It's just, the occasional people who do weird things like, thanks for sending me back your old boots. I'm going to throw them away. And, I'm glad I hope you had a good 11 months with them or whatever.
Yeah. But share that picture, though, and then share Steph's comment about... Yeah. Well, the note and Steph's comment on when she opened the box.
Oh, yeah. She... Where is it?
Doug, what kind of drink are you mixing? You can't just say you're going to mix a drink and then not tell us what it is.
Oh, see, we already know. You missed that part. Oh, but you missed this. So I could not get a hold of the Jack Rye, so I got this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
I didn't even know they made it, but when I asked for the rye, he said, well, we have this. And he had little samplers. And I probably shouldn't say this, but he had little samplers. And he's like, you can try one and see if you like it. And I tried it in the store. And even hot, right out of the bucket, it was fucking delicious.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm like, I'll take it.
You got.
So Juice and Yankee, what were your 2 favorite whiskeys?
2 favorite whiskeys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I think I'm having more connection issues. But 2 favorite that we tried there, or 2 favorite in general.
2 favorite for the Jack Daniels.
I'm actually drinking one of them right now. It was nice. It was the single barrel select that I got right here. It's basically just the regular Jack, except they just take it from single barrels that are at the top of the rick house, and they go through more of like a heat aging process up there. They also don't water it down, proof it down as much as they do the regular Jack. I think regular Old Number 7 is like, what, 80 proof these days?
Yeah.
This stuff is 94, I think, so you get a little bit more of the flavor still in it. But my absolute favorite one that we all had such a great time with, but that I've had a lot of trouble finding around here, is the single barrel Tennessee Rye. I think that's what Rainey said he was just looking for.
Yeah, the single barrel Tennessee Rye. And I was, there is a place that has it, and it's very sporadic when they have it. So I grabbed it probably 3 months ago because they had one, and I grabbed it up, and they did not. I went to 3 different places tonight, and they didn't have it. So it is a more rare whiskey.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know if you guys know this, but New Hampshire is one of those states where all liquor is sold through the state. So we only have state liquor stores up here. We're one of those places. There's positives and negatives to this. One positive is because the state basically just takes the retail cut. There's no tax on it, so it's effectively duty free, which is very nice. Mm-hmm. But it does sort of limit your options. But one good thing, too, is that when you look at because they do post their inventory online, so you're looking at all the inventory of all the liquor in New Hampshire, essentially, when you do. And I think the Tennessee Rye, they have it in the liquor stores that are more to the south, so like Nashua, Portsmouth, like right along the border with Mass. But kind of up where I'm at, it's a little harder to find. So.
Yeah, I'm usually in like the Billerica area when I do travel up. So like, I kind of benefit from being in that spot because they always have everything that I want for the most part.
Mass packies are pretty well stocked. So I remember they tend to be massive too. It's like the weirdest thing, but
also
that's not enough. We're gonna say juice.
Juice right before because I got a thought I'm gonna lose it if I don't say it. So Aaron, I got some family friends onto that rum that you gave me when I came up when we were doing the Tennessee camp out, the Weirdos Assemble camp out, the one in the tiny bottle with the cork on the top.
Bamboo, yeah.
Bamboo, yes.
Bamboo's got
oh
the
my
X
god!
on the front of it.
They love
It's
it so much.
really
So the woman I gave it to, my family friend, she just tried a sip of it, and then she put it down, and then she's like, I know it's 10 a.m. but god damn it, I'm having 2 shots. And she just pours out 2 full shots.
Bamboo,
she's a legend.
Yeah,
she's a legend.
Bamboo's a good rum for drinking straight, neat, on the rocks, dirty, however you want it. Yeah. I think personally, I like it more as a mixer.
So there's 2 Bamboos that are my favorites, the coconut and the banana.
I've never had the banana.
If you can find the banana Bamboo, it literally pour it over ice, drink it like it is. It tastes like real banana, but then it tastes like rum. So you're getting the kick of
Bajima.
I forgot to. Oh, so Dry Heat Doug was saying, he's drinking it over Coke and he's contaminating the whiskey, but you're not really.
That's really good with Coke, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Here's my feel on this. I see all these people say, "Oh, if you're not drinking the whiskey straight, you're not a real man." Well, do you drink beer? Because literally, I promise you, I'd make my mixed drink stronger than you'll drink your beer.
True.
Or do you drink Coke by itself? Have you ever drank a Coke by itself? Then you're not a real man because you should put whiskey in all of your Coke. Why are you such a girl? Come on.
Okay.
Actually, I say girl. We were just talking about Sydney being the only person I think they could probably go drink for drink with me. So yeah.
Really?
Does that mean I drink like? That probably means I drink like a girl, and I'm proud to say that. So
I am still willing to say that when it comes to rum, I could probably hold my own.
He just said it again. Did you hear that, Juice?
I heard it again, and I'm ignoring it. I think, or I'm trying to.
No. Let's not ignore it.
Ale
Let's make
and
this.
mead. I think I could hold my own drink for drink.
This could be fun, and I am going to go. So obviously, I have a meadery right south of me. I am going to go get a couple of bottles because not to make fun of anybody. This is just going to be fun. I don't know if anybody else drinks mead. I fucking love mead. Mead is awesome.
Hi, buddy.
So, hi. So we're gonna get some mead. We're gonna have a party with this. This will be fun.
I love mead. Whenever my parents are having like a fancy dinner and they're like, "Oh yeah, we should bring special drinks," I'm not a wine drinker. It just doesn't agree with me very well. So that's actually what I get. It's like a really nice bottle of like fruity mead, and that's my wine for the dinner instead.
Oh, sorry, I almost fell. Juice, what was your favorite whiskeys?
In a long roundabout way, I will say,
All of them.
So the single barrel rye that we were talking about, just as an example, I bought one at the Jack Daniel's, the gift shop. It did not leave the state of Tennessee.
No, it did not.
The other one that I really liked was the last one that was on the tasting that's impossible to get, essentially, which is their Distillery series, which is that rye mixed with, I think, another single barrel something that was wicked proof. It kind of had like a butterscotch kind of taste to it a little bit. Not the super gasoline one, but like it was like really, really well balanced. It was a Distillery series, but you can't get it, and I'm not going to waste effort trying to tell you exactly what it was. Those were my two favorites, and now I'm a Jack Daniel's rye guy.
Nice.
Also, want to
have a bottle of the.
Go ahead.
So we do have a bottle of the Distiller series rye that they were selling at the small table there, the little like flask size one. That was that they said was finished in the high toast maple barrels. That is very good. But before I put it kind of in the hierarchy, I want to find a bottle of the single barrel rye and then compare the two and see which one I like better. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna call out. We're talking about whiskey and drinking all this stuff, but there are several people in the chat at this point now are like they've been sober for a while, so. Just want to make it a point to say, all are welcome. Obviously, Steve, you said you don't drink, so obviously we're not like we like to drink, but we also like,
not because I'm sober.
Right? No. I'm just saying, like, accept all kinds.
Yeah, I mean, there's
You're still our friend.
I've had friends who were worried about coming to FA because they don't drink at all, but because of religious, personal preferences, they're not drinkers. They don't do anything like that. And they were just concerned with going to FA and people heckling them and hazing them because it's like you came to a big biker event and you're not drinking. And I just told them, like, it's not like that. It's not like if you go to a bike night and people are like, you're here, why don't you be here? It's a more understanding and accepting community. So,
well, first of all, like
that too. We don't care if you drink or we don't care if you like to smoke devil's lettuce.
If you want to get beat up at FA, heckle somebody about something like that. Go ahead, I dare you.
That's what would do it.
Yeah, that more than anything would do it.
You may not get beat up, but you will have people tell you that's not cool. Stop.
Because how quickly you are outnumbered.
I saw it happen in the Yingling hut. Somebody started heckling one of our favorites, and he was just having fun, but there were two people that stepped in immediately and said, that's not cool. You need to stop.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, well, I didn't know. And again, just because of the kind of crowd it is, he's like, oh, I didn't mean anything by it. And it's like, understandable, but stop. Okay, cool. And he was like, okay, cool. No problem. I didn't understand. So luckily, that's the kind of atmosphere it is, that the people who do kind of cross that line, if they're doing it, all they need to be told is, hey, that's not cool, then they stop.
Yeah, be cool.
Yeah. We've only ever had
just talking about that.
One person out of FA.
Well, let's try to keep it that way.
Yeah.
But we were just talking about that in the live stream the other night on Josh's channel. It's like, there aren't many rules to the camp out, but the number one rule is be cool, or at least when somebody tells you to be cool, like, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hard.
And you can fuck up. You can fuck up maybe once or twice, and as long as it's not super egregious, like, we'll move on. But like, yeah, be cool about it. Don't get defensive.
That's kind of the mentality that I think has shifted over the last actually not that recent, like pretty recently, actually. I think kind of the shift towards like not self-love, but just not being a dick isn't fun anymore. So if you talk to the club guys, like the club guys, the ones that are assholes are the older members, and the ones that treat their prospects well and give them gifts and bring them up right. They're the younger guys. They're my age, they're 38, they're 35, they prospected for 5-6 years. And then like they're good to their brothers. And that might sound weird, but it's the old timers who are used to that kind of mentality. And that's it's just not fun for anyone. And it's, unless you're like a really funny heckler and everyone's enjoying it and laughing it, like, I think it's going in the right direction, but that could just be me.
I really like the direction it's going in, personally, because it's like it builds a stronger bond between you and your brothers.
Oh yeah, brother.
Fuck yeah, brother.
Oh yeah, bro.
Brother.
So Julie said the difference in this group and others is this group wants what's best for everyone else in it. And I could not agree more.
Yeah.
We're not out to suck our own dick. We're out to do a good thing and help each other out.
Yeah, I mean, also,
especially.
I've interacted with a couple of MCs and RCs. And even with the RCs that aren't supposed to be, I don't know what to say, hardcore, like people make MCs out to be, I never mesh with the whole club mentality thing. But with the people at FA, the people here in this live stream that I've gotten to ride with, it's different.
Yeah.
We're not about the club mentality. We're not trying to impose.
You've transcended clubs.
Yeah, it's much more of a community.
Don't tell that to certain clubs, because they're not, they might not be super receptive to that.
There's still. So anybody ever seen the movie Wild Hogs?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
So good,
really,
fantastic movie.
That is literally the difference in you've got these guys and even young ones. So here they're the Southern Cross is I think they're under the Banditos, or maybe they're under somebody else. Anyway, but yeah, they're dicks to their members. I mean, they'll keep a guy in Prospect and make him mow grass and mow the yard and pick up shit on the highway and keep him in Prospect forever just because they think it's funny. They'll call a guy at 2 o'clock in the morning and tell him, "We're taking a ride. Show up at the clubhouse." And even though nobody else is going to show up, he better show up at the clubhouse, just because they're being dicks. And there's no reason for that. So they lose the fact, just like in Wild Hogs, they're saying you lost the reason why people enjoy riding. You lost your direction. You're not here to be a dick to everybody. You're here because everyone loves riding, and that's why we're all here. We love our fellowship, but 2, we love to ride. We love motorcycles. It doesn't matter what your skill level is on working on that motorcycle. We love riding that motorcycle. So
yeah.
we take on everybody. I think Sydney's probably become the best mechanic of us all, working on Harleys. So yeah, everyone falls in their place though. So it's funny though. I think you should start your own riding school and call it Ride Like a Girl. Because
I was actually teaching someone to ride the other day. She was super nervous. She was on a 300 sport bike. And she was so nervous just to lean over. Like, she was only going in like straight lines, and we were trying to teach her, but like she just got to get past that nervousness. I think so far I've taught 5 people how to ride motorcycles.
Wow.
I think it's a lot. Yeah.
Have you recorded any of this?
So Seven's
No.
T-shirt is gonna say "Ride Like a Girl."
Ride like a girl.
Do
All
it.
right.
I dig it.
No negativity to that. 7 is probably
I like that.
better than me. Especially when she's on. When I was following her at Land Between the Lakes, she was gone.
She gets an upvote. She gets my upvote.
She was gone. So.
I ride pretty tame when I'm in a group, just because I don't want to fuck anyone up.
No,
but
you don't.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
She doesn't want to.
But I still believe it.
Sid, next time we're together, you're either here in Ohio or I come out to Jersey. Don't hold back. I want to see if I wreck or not.
Oh no, I want to ride with her, but with nobody on the back seat and with the bike lowered down to 1 uprighting instead of 2 uprighting, because that would be fun. I love riding corners. I would never ride those 15-mile-an-hour corners at 80 miles an hour like some people do, but I do like to go deep in a corner. So,
yeah.
But not with someone else on behind me and the bike jacked up 4 inches. So no.
That's what she said.
And that's what she said.
What did she say?
Love you, Diana.
Do you have like a logo or anything? Yeah, like any, for your business or, I mean, I kind of like the Superman thing, but like,
I just got, actually, I just purchased a domain because I'm starting to go in more on the ring thing.
You mean these rings? One ring to rule them all?
It's a blue theme today.
Oh, mine's on the kitchen.
Oh my god, he went to Sentinel. Oh my god.
Get me one, though.
So is there something simple that you have that you like, or?
I was actually designing I have like 5 designs right now, and 4 of them are probably going to be just t-shirt designs, and then one of them is probably going to be the Sentinel design, the 7th Sentinel design for the actual channel. I usually ride alone, and so this is going to sound really lame, but I really like them. And with the whole I did protection dog training for like 15 years. So I have a wolf, and then right under that wolf is a V-twin engine in vector art, but that's as far as I got so far.
Do you mind if I take a look at them?
I can dig it. I'm down with that.
Yeah, if I could, I'll scan it over to you at some point if I remember. But if I don't do it within like 2 days, yell at me, because it's probably because I forgot.
Am I late? Can I show mine off? Now?
Aw. Oh, Steve, this is off topic. This is so off topic. But I had someone today say, "Oh, I found this Chinese site that does similar rings to you." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And this is someone I'm really close with. Very close with. They said, "Yeah, I found this site, and maybe you should just buy these rings and then upcharge them exponentially on your site." And I'm like, I was seeing red. Like, I was so pissed off at this individual. I was like, first off, you said you loved the design of my rings, and then you went out of your way and found a cheap Chinese knockoff that uses the most crappy, softest metal you can get, and then they do a similar style, but they're not durable at all. And he sends me one of these in the mail, and I just look at it, and I just flicked it against the granite in my kitchen, and it cracked. And I'm like, I'm not selling this shit to people. That's not even what the business is about.
Yeah.
Oh God,
and
I was so pissed.
That was actually a conscious decision early on, when we were, because I don't know how many of you know the origin story of Indie Ridge, but when we were just selling motorcycle face masks, they were made in China because they're polyester, and all polyester basically comes from China. And they saw us doing really well, and they started knocking off a lot of our design. So it was a conscious decision to make it into a full motorcycle brand and to target specific things that they cannot do well. Like they can't recreate. They they can recreate a lot of stuff, but they can't recreate my business. And so that was kind of my safeguard was, all right, well, I'm going to make something that I don't care how fast I grow on Instagram or anything like that. I'm going to make something that I think is good, and I'm going to keep improving it. And if everybody wants to knock me off, knock yourself out. But it took me this long just to make T-shirts because I had to find the best mill in Guatemala, and I had to, find the right person, and I had to find the right blend, and I had to find the right grading because I actually came up with my own sizing. I kind of Frankensteined a couple, and I geared it towards, sorry, Sid, but American motorcycle men, because they're not as small as regular men or your average guy. Most guys who ride are a little bit, they're just ultra fat. And so I basically so I basically created ultra fat people T-shirts. But I created them for a specific group of people, and that pattern is now mine. Like, I own that pattern. I created it, and then I graded it out from extra small to, actually I didn't do extra small in this run, small to triple XL. But just that kind of, like, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that from fucking Teespring, I guarantee you that. And even if this first batch, the fabric sucks, I'll make it better the next time, guarantee you. So I'm excited to see how this kind of project works out. But it was. I understand what that's about. As soon as they see someone starting to make money off of something, they're going to knock it off and sell it on Amazon as quickly as possible.
I don't know what's going on with the... something keeps going on with the Discord. It keeps kicking back to the Discord
Hold on, I want to hear
page.
I want to hear
Go
Hold
ahead.
on a second. I want to hear what it's his response.
Yeah, so I don't know, it was just like super disheartening that this person who I thought would be really supportive just like went out of their way, and kind of, it was so insulting, man. And he was like, well, why don't you just sell this to your customers? And I was like, why would I want to sell them crap? I love everyone who wants to support me. Like, I want them to have something that's quality, that's not going to break. The whole purpose of these is they're made to withstand like someone with a really active lifestyle, and I want them to have it for a long time. So why am I going to give them anything less?
And you're putting your name on it. I mean, there's a million things that you can buy cheaply and then resell on Amazon or wherever.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do. But the fact is that anybody could do it. The fact is that this other factory is doing it.
Yeah.
Now you gotta, see, well, okay, are you doing this right? Are you doing that right? And it's like, I cut out as many people as possible between me and the gear. It's just me and the person who makes it, and that's it. And so I at least know. And you can tell, it's really easy to tell. Like, there's this other brand called Nick's Boy Toys. I don't know if you guys ever, or Nicky Boy Toys. Have you guys heard of them?
Only when you showed me the thing. That's when and I'd gotten, probably, he's one of those, you go on this thing, he says, following 170,000 people followed by 8,000. Because he follows everybody possible to try to get a follow back.
Yeah, I couldn't give a shit about that. But I bought...
Well, that's all we got time for tonight. Let's... Go ahead.
No. But like sorry, not your comment, but the fact that like following to get follow back. Like, I don't care about... It's obvious I don't care about the Instagram, my Instagram presence at the moment. Maybe someday I will, but for now it's like I'll repost things that other people post. That's about it. But we bought one of their quote unquote Kevlar hoodies that was like $230. And I recorded a 5-minute video about how shitty this jacket is and why it's really a $20 jacket. It's like a baseball giveaway jacket with some Kevlar in your Force 1 areas, which is your shoulder, elbows, and back. And I don't even know what the Kevlar composition is. It could be 50-50 because it doesn't say. It doesn't have any kind of DuPont markings. So it doesn't say like, okay, well, it's a composite between 50% Kevlar, 50% polyester. My guess is that's what it probably is. But the fleece, the cut, the branding, it was just the overall user experience for that much money. I was like, and it was strictly like, and the funniest thing was, as soon as we bought it, we bought it under Steph's name. And so as soon as we bought it, there was a video that was sent to her from this company, and it was him, this Nicky Boy Toys. I don't know I don't know him. I don't have anything against him, but this was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It was a video of him talking. He said, "Hey," and then her name was generated, but it wasn't his voice. So I was like, "Hey, Stephanie, while we're prepping your order, I want you to know that blah, 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 blah." It was a lot of hand motions, a lot of energy, but it was like, you just recorded this and then you just implement someone saying the name and you think I'm not going to notice it. It was so obvious and that was just before the jacket arrived. Like before the hoodie arrived. Like now you're really pissing me off before it's even gotten here. So it's like you're creating this really shit user experience. Because it's, I don't know, maybe it sells, maybe you'll make a ton more than I do, and that's great. Good for him. Knock yourself out.
I don't know how much longer we want to talk about that brand, but I will briefly at least say that's a brand I've looked at, and they're one of those brands that I looked at their jeans because I was like, I should probably get some riding jeans. But then after exploring their options, I'm like, this is the most cringy looking riding jeans. I'm going to use that serious quotes. They just, I like aesthetically, I'm like, you're in 2008. Like, I don't know, like, what the fuck is happening there? Sorry.
What you're talking about is actually a pattern of riding jeans that came out of China probably 4 or 5 years ago. And there's been several brands that have basically purchased that same cut and same style with a lot of the elastic and a lot of the front pockets and everybody has the same template of riding pants. And they're creating American companies around this exact same punch out of a riding pant. And it's really kind of incredible the way that people are buying into it. Like it's something that they invented. It's like, no. You just bought something that the factory already was making and is making for 8 other brands. And the jeans look exactly like yours. So it's like, you can't, that's not a long-term company. I mean, if you want to make a short, maybe a decent amount of money in a short amount of time, you can go that route. But it's like, oh my, it's the same pant that about 3 or 4 other brands sell.
Yeah.
So there you go. You have a few to choose from. I actually have a better solution that's coming out soon. I'm definitely not going to give that one away.
Keep your lips sealed on that. Don't give away your secrets yet. It's a good one. But I did want to draw a little bit of attention to the chat, unless Randy, if you are trying to wrap right now.
No, I'm not trying to wrap. I was going to tell you, if you're looking for a good pair of riding jeans, there's only one pair of riding jeans I've actually bought because I liked them. Go to Cycle Gear and look at the Ironworkers jeans. They're
Yes.
actually I love those jeans. They're a little bit baggy, but they have Kevlar front, back, and butt. And they're also heavy enough that they don't flap in the wind. And they're the only jeans that I actually like that are actually riding jeans. Other than that, I'll wear overpants. They're usually some kind of textile with armor in it, unless it's 100 degrees. But when I'm riding when it's cold and I'm riding actual motorcycle pants, the Ironworkers. So look into those because they're actually very comfortable and they fit well.
Nice.
And they're not outrageously priced.
They're like 100 to 120 bucks, depending on which style you get. They have like 3 different styles of the Ironworkers, and I usually just get the blue denim or the black denim, and they're about 100 bucks. But they're worth the money. And every once in a while you can find them on sale in different stores that are overstocked in one particular style. You can get them for like 70. But they're worth the money. Don't balk at them. I don't like the ones that look like skinny jeans, that like very skinny legs and like the big fat ass.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like there's something about it. I'm like, this doesn't.
And
it's not going to look flattering on me for one, but like,
well, the reason they
what are we doing here?
The reason they cut them
Juice,
like
you
that.
make everything look good.
Well, the reason they cut them like that is because the material is so thin. They have to make it tight, or else it'll flap you to death and it'll give you a rash.
Yeah.
Thicker material, which is a lot why I like wearing in Levi's jeans. It's thicker and it doesn't flap on you. Anything thin is going to just whip you to death. There, 7 minutes.
Oh, so Juice, you were trying to get it back onto the chat?
Well, I at least wanted to pull on a thread that was happening here with Rainey. This is somebody you've interviewed, actually, I believe, if I'm understanding correctly. But Miranda's talking about doing the basic rider course and is nervous. We've never heard that story before. People haven't done the basic rider course. They wanted to get into motorcycling, but they're nervous. So
I have.
What do we say? What do we say to this?
Well, first of all, I haven't interviewed Miranda yet. Miranda is also Nurse Joy. Miranda does.
I thought you did. I'm sorry. Okay, so we are talking about the same person, but
not saying. Yeah, she's Nurse Joy. She actually does crime and murder mysteries, also just like Bleak does. But yes,
collab.
Yeah, she does good shit. Well, actually, they're friends. They actually went to school together. So yeah, that's
awesome.
But anyway, so yes, so if you're a new rider and you're scared to ride, a lot of people in the chat have given good advice. Erin told her, take the basic rider course, get out on a bike somewhere that's quiet and try to ride to see if you even like it, But I think anybody that just is even thinking about riding, the basic rider course is a good alternative because one, you're going to spend about $300. Some of these colleges give the course for $100. Go out, ride somebody else's bike that's already kind of wrecked up, and it won't hurt if you drop it, and see if you even like riding. So, and then if you like it, you can move up from there. But that will teach you all the skills you need to know to be not proficient on a bike, but to be slightly skilled on a bike. It doesn't stop at BRC by no means, but BRC will probably give you 80% of the skills you need to learn how to become a better rider. It won't make you an A's class rider. You're not going to be able to run MotoGP when you're done with it, but you will know, just like we're talking about learning how to work on a bike and how to do things, this is a lifetime of skills you're going to build up riding a motorcycle, but BRC will start you in the right direction.
And I just want to touch base on that too. Like my instructors for my introductory course, they were fantastic. They basically condensed 6 months worth of knowledge into 3 days. So that's 6 months worth of riding experience and all of that. They condensed down for us for a 3-day course. They were teaching us things like what to look for if there's a dangerous corner. They were teaching us things like how to tackle a corner, how your suspension works when you tackle corners. They went really, really in depth. I'm not gonna say my instructors are gonna be exactly like yours, but they will teach you things that will save your life, because even the basic information that they talk about in those courses, absolutely phenomenal. Not only that, but start out small. Like start with just clutch control and feeling where your clutch activation is, because when you're first getting to know your bike, you just have to feel where the engagement is. If you could control how the power gets to the rear wheel, then you basically can better control and feel more confident and build up that confidence with your bike.
So I don't know if anybody's seen this yet, but Harley has something, and they've been doing it for about 5 years, and it's called the Ride Machine. They call it something else at other places, but it's basically a motorcycle that's in chocks that's on wheels, so it can't fall down. But you get on it and you learn how it brakes. You learn how to engage the clutch. You learn how to use it actually lean a little bit, but not very much because it's in chocks. But you'll learn everything about operating the bike besides leaning it. So you'll learn clutch control, you'll learn how the brakes work, you'll learn where everything is on the bike, and you can actually drive the bike, and you can get up to like 30 miles an hour on this ride machine. Then they take the same bike out of the chocks, put it on the road, and you ride it around the parking lot. So what you just learned clutch control on and brake control and lever control on, now you're riding around a parking lot. And it is so simplistic, but it is so awesome because now you've just added a little forward momentum and motion to what you've already learned. And it's so much easier than just trying to jump on a bike and go, okay, no, go. Here's how your clutch friction control works. Go, bye. I'll come get you if you fall. So if you get the chance, take the Harley class.
Yeah, I would say that definitely that's like mastering that slow speed stuff and the slow speed maneuvers. Because it's actually relatively easy to just sit on a bike when it's going 50. I mean, like the bike wants to stay up.
Yeah.
And so it's the places where people get into trouble are actually at like 0 to 5 miles per hour. Like that's where you drop the bike the most. That's where there's obviously the very hard crashes, but that, and they take it slow too. So like in my course, when I first took mine, however many years ago to officially get my license, is it's just you simply let out the clutch. I don't think you even pull the throttle. I think you just let out the clutch and just pull it back in, walk it back, do the same thing, walk it back.
Yeah. Playing with the friction zone to learn it. That was the first thing they had us do after we got sitting on the bike was to put it in the first gear and just never let it out just enough that you rock it.
Right. And if you have any experience with like a stick shift on a car, that helps because the concept is relatively the same. Because if you have a stick shift and you put it into first, you can actually make the car start to drive if you pull off the clutch slowly enough. And so it's I don't know how many people know how to drive stick these days. I grew up driving stick, but it's a lot simpler once you really know the basics. And then once you know the basics, then you can start to do some of the fun stuffs. But the other thing though is they do give you light bikes and small bikes. So don't necessarily make the jump from the bikes that you're on, or do make that jump, or just like stay on that track for a while, for a year or so. Get a used bike that's like the same type, and practice on that, and then step up.
I will. Let me add some flavor to that, because I think there's definitely at least two lines of thinking there. It's like you either stay in that really, really small CC realm. I'm actually of the opinion you go slightly larger than that. Like I think Aaron, you did probably the smartest beginner bike out of probably a lot of people. It's like you get a bike that is just big enough that like it has enough power to get out of its own way. That's the key. That's actually a safety thing, is like having enough power to get yourself out of a situation, more so than if you just stay in that 250, 300 cc realm, you risk like just being kind of a timid rider.
I mean, I'll put it this way. My first bike was that
the VN 800.
It was too heavy.
I wasn't going to bring that up, Aaron.
Well, for me, it was too heavy. It was awkward. It had a lot of it had a lot of carburetor issues specifically. And it got in the way of me actually getting AC time. So, and when I decided to finally get rid of it and get the Rebel, at that time, I'm like, I'll never ride any farther than like go out and see my parents. Just over an hour away. I wouldn't use any roads more than 55 miles an hour. There's no like interstate to go out where my folks live. It's all high state routes and country road. So the Rebel made the most sense. It has a top speed of like 90 something, but it's mostly meant for in town, which is what I would have been doing. A lot of in town riding, and just on the outskirts of town. It just made the most sense. It fell in price range. It fell, it was a lightweight bike. It was nimble, good gas mileage. It was affordable.
Was this the 500?
Yes, the Rebel 500. Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't say it was a terrible choice for me to really learn on, but I do think that I could have started on something a little bit. I do think I could have started on something.
But I think we have given you a lot of shit about that Rebel, but it was a great bike to start on. It's like everyone says, and they've said this since the '80s when I first started riding. Never make your dream bike your first bike. And I think I've heard Steve say that too, because the first bike you ride, the first bike you learn,
you're gonna drop it like 8 times.
Yeah,
you're gonna drop it. You're gonna wreck it. It's gonna get scratched. It's gonna get dinged.
It's gonna break your fucking heart. But if you buy a bike. So if you buy a bike like we are to ride to Alaska, that costs $2,000. If you drop it 50 times, who the fuck cares?
Dude,
you won't even be able to see the new damage on it. So and then you can turn right around and sell it to somebody else for $2,000.
True.
Well,
yeah.
I'll say
into sorry.
No, go ahead, Yankee.
I was going to ask, did Miranda say she was, nervous about learning to ride in general, or that she was specifically nervous about taking BRC?
In both.
I think her nerves actually are a few other things too. She mentioned she's worried about getting hurt, which I think that's a pretty natural thing as a new rider. If you've never dropped a bike or gotten in some kind of slow to mid to maybe even high speed accident, I don't know, Rainey, I know you can relate to this. It's if you came from a background of dirt biking, the idea of dropping a bike or dumping a bike, it's different. But if you never came from that background, I can't relate to that, because that would be terrifying. The idea of you're out on the road, there's traffic, and you jump it. Sure. Here's what I'll say though: is look at the stats on it. I think we did talk about a lot of crashes happen with new riders at very, very slow speeds. You might get scraped up. I think if you look at the stats of it, you're not typically going to get into those really high speed collisions as a new rider, unless you're just going balls to the walls, which then you've got a death wish. But for people that are just really honest about wanting to learn and build their skills, you're going to drop the bike. You might get scraped up. If you break a bone, I guess that's par for the course. But even then, I don't know. Don't let that discourage you.
I'll say this, and this is the advice I've given to a couple of people who have asked me as non-riders with any amount of interest in riding. Take the first-time riders course first. That should be your first step. They're going to put you on a bike. They're going to teach you everything you need to know to get started. And you're going to be in an open parking lot you're going to be in a sectioned off area, typically a big parking lot, where they're going to teach you to ride. That's going to give you an idea of whether or not you're comfortable on a bike. From there, you shouldn't be concerned about a fast bike. You shouldn't be concerned about a bike with a big gas tank. You should be concerned about finding a bike that you feel comfortable on and doesn't intimidate you too much. A rule of thumb my dad told me when I first took an interest in riding and I took the course was that the day you throw a leg over a bike and you're not the smallest bit afraid or scared of what might happen is the day you shouldn't ride. Because there are so many outside factors you can't control that if you throw a leg over a bike and you're confident and you think today's going to be fine, nothing wrong can happen, I'm in complete control, that's when shit hits the fan. So take the first time course, find a bike you're comfortable on, and do a lot of short trips. Build up your confidence. Just get time on the seat.
Sid, then Yankee.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was noticing that...
Oh, Sid didn't see you. Sid's a lady.
Wait, what?
Sid goes first. Go ahead.
Oh.
I was just pointing at Sid.
So Miranda was saying that she feels... She's not scared of the class, she's just scared of falling over and stuff. That's... You know what, Miranda, that's kind of... I used to be scared of that, when I first got... Yeah, thank you, Doug. When I first got my very first bike, which was the 2016 FC07.
Hell of a first bike, by the way.
Honestly, yeah, it's a torque monster, and it was
Yeah.
it was kind of like it was a beast. It could get up to 120 miles per hour in like 3 seconds. Yeah.
That's a
So-
that's not all.
Or sorry, it could get up to 60 miles per hour in 2 seconds, and I accidentally went 120 on it, trying to keep up with the other sport bike riders. But anyway, the very first time I had it, I freaking dropped it. I fucking dropped that thing, and it was devastating. It wasn't even a harsh drop. I kind of just let it slowly fall to the ground. I got that out of my system, and then I tried to bang through the gears, just practicing in the parking lot. Ended up accidentally wheeling it, and it almost bucked me off. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying that
Whiskey
No.
throttle.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
great. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
It happens. It happens, man. Like you just it's about taking it slow. I wasn't learning that bike as slow as I should have. And it taught me bikes are great teachers. They'll teach you respect.
Oh yeah.
And that bike taught me that I should respect it and the power that it has. So if you go in and you know to respect the power and then learn how to control that clutch and respect the throttle, you're going to be so much more confident on the bike. Drops won't be as bad. And yeah, you're going to drop your very first bike. And like you just said, it is bound to happen.
So,
But
yeah.
once you get that first drop, it's going to be out of your system completely. Like you're going to be so fine. And the fact that you're so conscientious about this,
Yeah.
I can't see you having a problem, girl.
The one thing I'll add to this just real quick before
No.
USC
It's
say
Yankee's
it.
turn. It's Yankee's turn. Hold on. Yankee.
Well, and this was sort of the reason I had asked about like the BRC too, is like, 'cause that's what do you do if you were nervous about that? But really, just in general, honestly, my advice boiled down to its simplest possible essence, within certain parameters. Don't be afraid to suck. You're just starting out. You're gonna suck. It's fine. There's no problem with that whatsoever. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna stall the bike at inopportune times. It's gonna be awkward. It's not gonna look pretty. But that's what we're here to do. Every mistake you learn from. You make more mistakes, the more you learn. But all kidding aside, it's the same as learning a lot of other skills. When you first start out, you're not going to be very good at it. That's okay. And like everybody was pointing out, the drops and stuff like that, like it's not like smashing into the side of a car at full speed. The best thing you can do there is wear gear so you can minimize your chance of serious injury. And but yeah, just it's okay. If you drop the bike, so what? Pick it back up. Don't necessarily stress yourself out thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do if I drop the bike? Think instead, okay, when I drop this bike, because I will, what's my plan of action? And just go from there. And don't worry about it.
Steve.
With going back to the Vulcan,
Steve.
Personally, I spend, I don't have a whole lot of time to ride in general, as much as I'd like. But when I do, when it gets into the colder months in LA, that's when I typically start to go out more, because I do wear all my gear. I wear my personal gear that I make all the time I go out. And so, it can get pretty hot out here. So I like wintertime in Southern California because it doesn't make it as hot. So first of all, I wear all my gear all the time, mostly because I make it. But it's also, I know it's also the safest boot that I could buy, and gloves and other stuff. But I spend a good amount of time practicing at low speeds. I don't want to say half as much time, but I'd say pretty close, especially at the beginning of a season, is shaking off the rust a little bit, practicing at slow speeds, practicing from a full stop to a full left turn, just like simple stuff that you would think that wouldn't be a problem. That is the stuff that, if you have to make a U-turn and you've got 12 feet to do it, can you do it? And so, if all the situations you try to put yourself in, you can try to up the ante a little bit. So that way you're much more comfortable out on the open road because you don't really encounter a whole lot of these really tight situations. But if you put yourself in those tight situations in an open parking lot and it's got, I have cones. And, I go behind a Best Buy so no one can see me and I don't look like an idiot, but I really don't give a shit because I want to be able to do it within a certain, turning radius, certain things. And it's like, I practice at low speeds, so I'm not afraid at higher speeds or out on the open road. I mean, you always got to be cognizant about who's around you on the open road when you're going at higher speeds, but at least, around just your regular riding, it's not, if you're paying attention, and you've got those kind of slow speed, and you can control your bike well, that is probably the best preventative measure outside of introducing alcohol or nighttime driving and just things you aren't ready for, or just things that are just dumb. It's just like common sense decisions. So it's you drop your bike and you're usually more pissed off that you dropped the bike than you are the fact that you got hurt, because you really probably didn't get hurt that bad, and your arm might be sore for a week, but you're really just pissed off that you just dropped that bike.
All right, Aaron, and then me.
So yeah, I've told the story a bunch of my first day riding with a license on the road after taking that course. I wrecked. I got hurt, fucked up the bike. Like Steve said, the very first thing that happened when I popped off the ground was I started cussing and yelling because I was pissed that I had damaged the bike. I didn't even notice my own injury, which wasn't bad. I had a little bit of road rash, a couple of bruises. That's fine. But I got the bike back up, ran. My handlebars were all kinds of messed up, so riding home, instead of having my typical position, I was riding like this. One arm was like way back because I bent one of the riser bolts. But my biggest thing was I knew that if I didn't ride at home, I was going to get scared the next time I got the bike. So I made a point of riding at home. I dropped it a couple of times after that, and the worst that happened was a couple of dents in the tank, a couple of scratches on the bike. Picked it up, rode it. It's frustrating. If you do it in front of people, you feel embarrassed, you feel ashamed. That's all I think part of the riding experience. It's gonna happen. You just have to pick the bike up and go. You can't let yourself feel defeated from it. Hell, even with the Rebel coming back from Land Between the Lakes, had cell in the battery, so I had to bump start it every gassed up, and Yankee saw me drop the bike after getting it jump started.
Wasn't on camera though, so we don't.
Because mine was.
That last gas station finally got it going again. I was like, yeah, here we go. And then you go to pull out and abruptly stop the bike.
Oh, well, I dropped it. I didn't let go of the clutch, so it stayed running. We got it back up right. I didn't have my kickstand all the way up, so it killed it. And then I had to do it again.
You had to go, start the whole process over.
So,
10 out of 10 would do it again.
I wouldn't call myself an experienced rider, but on the Rebel alone at that point, I had, like 18, somewhere between 16 and 18,000 miles on it. Still dropped it. It happens. You get tired, you get frustrated, you don't pay as close attention, mistakes happen. You just don't let it, you don't feel defeated by it. It's part of it.
And hey, the way that I treated that whole trip too was like once we got back, like I was saying to you in the bar, I'm like, we just, we bump started this freaking thing across 4 states, getting all the way home.
Yeah.
What do we have left to prove at this point?
You should
Give me
have
that
500 miles.
how early it is for you.
That would have made
500 miles and a dead battery.
Yep, exactly. That was some epic stuff.
So
Ready.
for Miranda, I'll say this. So I have two airplanes in my hangar. I've got the fighter jet, which is the Sportster, and then I've got the bomber, which is the BMW. When I took the last time I took a BRC course, every time you take a riding course, they give you a book, and I have all the books. But the BRC book in the back of it from Harley has literally the course laid out in all of the different parts of the course that you have to pass. So if you haven't ridden in a while, and so in the winter, you're driving straight. I still drive it in the winter, but I'm driving straight. When it starts to warm back up and I can actually get out and do some creative riding and tourist riding, I'll go back, take that book out, and try to do that stuff again. Like Steve was saying, you got to get out and do this stuff. And I'll do stuff when it's not required. Like I'll be riding and go, well, I need to turn around. Instead of turning around in this cul-de-sac, I'll turn around in the middle of the road just to see if I can, see if I can turn it as tight as I can. Now, the thing you learn with two different bikes is they handle differently. So don't look at another bike and say, well, if they can do that on their bike, I should be able to, or I'm not a real rider. Because when I back the Harley out, I can back the Harley out, spin it totally around 180 and drive it right out of the driveway, right out of the garage. Like Sydney was saying, when I backed the BMW out, that's a 12-point turn because that bike is about 3 feet longer than the Sportster. And the wheelbase is much, much longer. So don't think just because other people are doing things on their bike, you should be able to. You're going to be, one, you're a totally different rider. You have different skill sets. Two, you're on a totally different bike. And just because the bike is smaller doesn't mean it's more agile. And I'm sure that, like, you know, Sydney's 7 is a very agile bike, but it might not turn as tight as a Sportster because the rake is not. Yeah. It has a totally different front end. So, and it's not meant to do those tight turns like that. It's meant to lean over and turn like that. So, but if you take the course, keep the book, and practice everything in the book every once in a while because it does make sense to keep your skills up for one. If you can keep taking every course you can. Every couple of years, take another course. A lot of places like the Harley place, if you go back for an advanced rider course, it's half off. If you took your BRC course there, and you go back for the advanced rider course, it's half off. Because they like your business. So take advantage of that. Learn new stuff.
Yeah, I like that. Be a multi-classer in the motorcycle realm. Don't just be a cruiser guy. Don't just be a sport bike guy.
Get a Grom.
Well, the military...
Do dirt bike. Do cruiser. Get everything.
The military makes you take the safety courses every 3 years to be able to ride on base. So I've taken courses on bikes I didn't even ride. So I took the BRC, and then I took the advanced rider course, and then I took the sport rider course, and then I took a cruiser rider course. And I didn't have a dirt bike, but they offered a dirt bike course. So I'm like, why not? It counts.
Sure.
So I went and rode somebody else's freaking 350 for a weekend. It was fucking badass. Why
So
not?
much fun.
Why not?
All bikes, all the time.
So
I actually
Go ahead, Yankee.
Sorry. I actually have, believe it or not, I have a deer hunting anecdote. It's more of a conversation about it that sort of fits here. This was a conversation actually that happened between my father and his oldest brother. But they had just gotten into hunting and they were stand hunting, which, long story short, they're waiting in one spot, waiting for a deer to walk by is the thing of it. My dad was like, this is really fun and all, but I really want to learn how to do this the old school way, the way that this was done many, many years ago, which is we track. You try to actually go out, wander around the woods, find the track of a deer and go find it. And my dad's oldest brother said, well, yeah, you can do that, but, it takes like 10 years to learn how to track a deer. And my father just looked at him and said, okay, so when do we start?
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. But just to bring it back to bikes, it's like, yeah, maybe it takes a while to learn how to do a particular thing on a bike. Maybe it takes a while to obtain a particular skill. Start whenever you feel like it.
So,
and just to kind of piggyback off of just, other realms of hobbies, when I was 10 and I first learned to surf, I was terrified of sharks in the ocean and seaweed and all that other kind of stuff. It was like, you're out in the middle of the ocean and you just think about sharks. I don't fucking think about sharks anymore. If they're going to get me, they're going to get me. But I'm much more worried about, am I in the right position to get the wave when it comes through? And this guy's sitting over here and I'm sitting right here. Okay, so I'm jockeying for position a little bit. All right, okay, I see a set outside. I need to be over here. I can go. So like I just took a micro vacation down to Mexico, down to K38, which is a break I've never surfed before. And so I can pull up to a break and I can look at a break and I can assess it and I can see where the underwater, I can basically get a good idea of what the underwater contour looks like. And I know basically where to sit, where to avoid. Okay, avoid that. I see what other people are doing, where they're coming out, where they're coming in. Maybe there's what's called the keyhole, which is a specific place where you come in and come out because there's no coral, there's no cobblestones. And if you go outside that, maybe you're walking over urchins or something like that. But it's at first it was like, I'm going to get eaten by sharks. And now it's just like, I do it because it's that thought hasn't crossed my mind. And
that's a great analogy.
Speaking of what Steve said, and so Gma was just saying she has been riding longer than most of us have been alive. And then with what Steve said, that reminds me of my first instructor told me back in 1990. He said, you spend your first year learning how to not be stupid on a bike. You spend every year after that enjoying the bike and reminding yourself every once in a while to not be stupid on the bike.
Yep.
So, yeah. Can you imagine, though? So, Gma has probably forgot more shit. Can you imagine the shit she knew, 30 years ago? What a badass babe she was on that bike.
Not even 30 years old.
But she does shit like that without even thinking now. She does the shit she does on a bike. Remember here a while back, she was saying, yeah, I'm trying to get this iron head up, trying to get the sports strap, the shovel head, and all this. And then she decides one day, I'm going to ride across the country. And GMO took off, or what was she gone for, 3 weeks, I think? Took a big-ass, long fucking trip. Can we not all just aspire to do shit like that? But
Gma
she
is
doesn't
the
even
person I
think
want to
about
be.
that. She doesn't even think about doing that. I don't think I'm going to take off and do a fucking ride with all my friends and just take off and see the country. But, yeah, that's right in line with, you forget a lot of times how the pain you had to grow up. So, like Steve talking about surfing. Imagine how long it took to learn all that thing, how to see the undertow, how to see the wave, how to set up for the wave. You spend all of your first year of training how to do all that shit, and then everything after that, now you're just enjoying surfing, and you're just kind of vaguely, you can go through that whole mathematics of how to set up for the wave in seconds, where when you were first riding it took, or when you're first surfing it took a long time, and a lot of training, and what does work and what doesn't work, and motorcycling's the same way. You can go through all that mathematics in seconds now for when you first started riding took, it was very, very stressful. It was very hard on you. Oh my God, I barely made it out of the traffic. Oh my God, I barely beat that car out. And now you do that shit without even thinking.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, because Brandon, when he first got on his boat and riding my Rebel Round stuff, he was asking questions, and I'm like thinking, because he was trying to ask me how I was doing. I know Sydney's seen me do it, where I hard swerve just going down a straight road because I like to do that. It's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, I just do it
because I don't think about it anymore.
Yeah, and I had to think. We had to stop for a second because he was just practicing in a parking lot. I'm like, okay, so you know how you swerved in MSF course? Yeah, kinda. I wasn't good at it. I'm like, okay. So when you're wanting to turn and you're going slow, you turn the bars. But if you're at speed and you need to turn, if it's a long curve, you press on the bars, and then you turn instead of pressing on the bar. No, press on the bar and you turn. And I'm like, okay, do this. Instead of this, do this. And that's the only way I could think to even try to explain it, because it just, to me, that came very natural when coming into a long, slow curve to just press into the bar to get the bike to lean. And trying to explain that to him, I don't know why I could not find the words.
Well, countersteering is kind of it's an odd concept to learn when you're first experiencing it.
It is.
But it's also, I think countersteering gets convoluted a lot of times with new riders because they try to explain it to someone else without fully understanding what it means.
Yeah.
Anytime I see somebody say, well, you turn the bar in a different direction that you want to turn, that's not really what it is. You're pressing the bike down. And as soon as you go to turn that wheel, the bike wants to counteract itself because it's a gyro. If you were actually turning that wheel, you would eat ass. You would eat a whole lot of ass. You're just pressing the bike down. Boozy. And I've corrected people so many times in different chats I was in, and they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm sorry, I've only been riding for 40 years. I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. Listen to me. You're not really turning the wheel. You're pushing the bike down. And the best way I've learned to tape 2 Dixie cups together and roll them on their little spine and then roll them to one side, and all of a sudden it just takes a sharp turn. I was like, that's what you're actually doing. You're not turning the wheel. You're pushing it on its smaller part of the radius. That's what turns the bike. And so if you look at, somebody just did a video on counter steer, counter lean, body lean. It was 4.9.
Yep.
Anytime you change the balance of that bike, you change the balance of that bike, it wants to go whatever side of that bike is heaviest is where it wants to turn. If you can just put a couple of pounds of force on one side of that bike, on the handlebar or on your butt or on the seat, that's the direction that bike wants to go. And at first, you don't know how much butt to give it, you don't know how much push to give it, and it's years of learning to get it perfect. And it's a slow, gradual process. And once you learn it, you don't even think about it, you just do it. I used to tell people, I had a R1100 RT, and I used to tell people, I don't even have to turn the bike, I just think about turning and it turns. Well, that's because I was shifting my weight without even thinking about it, and the bike was turning itself. Just what happens.
Doug needs to go to horny jail.
What did Doug do?
You want me to read it?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
With a long, slow curve. I just gave.
That's not even horny jail. That's like slow chub jail. No, he gets a pass.
We're fine. Doug's fine.
He's in the Navy. He gets a pass on shit like that.
What did Doug say? Damn it, Doug.
Come on, Doug.
Dang it, Doug.
No, Doug. That was not a lot of ass references. You can do better than that. If you can't do better than that, go back in the Navy. Join up, learn how to be a proper horn dog, and then come back.
Oh my god.
Jeez. So I told somebody at work the other day I spent 20 years learning how to respond inappropriately to everything I heard. And then once I got out of the Navy and retired, I spent since 2017 trying not to respond inappropriately to everything I heard. And it's a slow process. It's very slow. I'm learning, though. I'm learning. Trying. So I want to keep the friends I have now. I don't want to lose them all. But then I'll join up with you crap-assers and look at me now. Cheers to y'all, because I love you.
Cheers to that.
Love you too, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've been going 2.5 hours, so
yep. We're gonna move
to the back room now. So everyone, thanks for coming out. We've enjoyed it. We've had a pretty good crowd all night. Oh, Doug says he was a CB. That's why he can't get as dumb and stupid as the rest of us. Doug, we're gonna have to meet up one day. I'm gonna have to make a trip out to Arizona and find you because we got a party. I've got to remind you.
What part of Arizona?
I think he's in Phoenix.
Phoenix.
No, Phoenix.
Oh my God, Doug, we could have rode together. I'm so excited.
But I got to meet up with Doug and remind him what it's like to be in the Navy. So, all right, guys. So
you got to teach him what it's like to be seaman again.
Closing comments. Hell no, I retired as a chief. Hey, Aaron, you got something right there. Wipe it. Nope, still there. It's sticky.
Sorry.
It's already dried. Never mind.
It's a little white.
Closing comments. Aaron, go ahead.
Don't let your fears overtake your life. Be willing to push those boundaries and be good to each other.
7.
Oh, I wasn't prepared.
We can come back. Okay, go ahead. Okay. We can come back to you. You want to study?
Yeah, can you come back to me?
Sure.
She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
Drink and be merry, for tomorrow we may die.
Right on. Juice.
I like that theme. I think we started out with whiskey, and then it turned into more serious topics, but just we're out here to have a great time. So have a great time. Enjoy life. Ride the bike, take the ride. Do the basic ride, of course, Miranda. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let it hold you back. Steve?
All right. Cheers.
The day you stop learning new skills in your life, that's kind of when you decide, like, I'm basically done. Like, this is my trajectory, and I'm not going to learn more skills. Now I'm going set, and then you die. So, nothing, like, if you want to do that, that's great. And that's what a lot of people do. They just stop trying to learn new skills. And they stop trying to grow as a person. But the minute you stop, it's kind of like now I've succumbed to, this is where I'm at in my life, and this is where it's gonna go, and that's kind of the end of it. It's kind of a sad thought. Also, everything is a simulation. This doesn't exist. None of you guys exist.
And on a strong
nothing
note.
really matters. So I can, do and say, and like anybody who is looking at me on the road, or if I do something stupid, or they don't exist. It's a simulation. So that doesn't matter. Learn hobbies in your simulation. They do have real world consequences, and they do. It's a very real simulation, and you can feel it. But it doesn't. There's no reason not to.
Sydney?
Okay. Do what you love and don't let setbacks hold you back from greatness. Also, if you guys want to make mocktails, for those of you in the chat who don't drink, if you want to make mocktails at the upcoming FA, hit me up. That'd be fun as hell.
All right, so everyone's made good points. I'm going to echo something Doug said. His closing comment was, "I love you all. Have spectacular elbow drops, and love like there's no tomorrow."
It gets big 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, yeah, which just rings a bell, because you never know when your clock. None of us are born with an expiration date. You can't look at the bottom of your foot and say, "This is how long I have." It comes upon you quickly. So we've all gone through losses, people who have had cancers or some kind of terminal illness, and they're like, "Oh my God, now my life's over. Now I have to stop." Well, I mean, shit, that person may have 5 people they know die before they know. Why live like you have an expiration date? Because you don't. You may have a year to live, but you may die tomorrow because you were dumb and stepped off a curb. So, love like crazy. Act like everyone you meet is going to be your new best friend. Act like all your best friends are going to stay your best friends forever, and treat them like they are. Never look anyone who loves you like anything except that they love you. So to you guys, I love you all. I'm glad I have you in my life. With that,
As am I, very much so.
So for all you guys out in Yahoo land and in YouTube land, thanks for coming. Come back next Friday. We'll have something planned for you well. And next Friday, we might all get on here before and get our audio and shit set up. 7. No, you had to get
I had to
excused.
deal
It's
with
fine.
police.
I know.
Okay.
You had to get
Oh boy.
You had to outrun some highway patrol.
She was running it.
No. It was an issue at work.
Oh.
All right, everybody. We love you all. Thanks for coming, and come back and see us next week. So
Love, peace, chicken grease.